Seal your helmets for pressure. We're going in, and this mission's gonna be tough. On this episode of Club Flashpoint, we're going to be facing down the despair and darkness of warfare. Are you ready? Are you ready, Commandos? Hello, it's Dale Flashpoint for yet another episode of Club Flashpoint. That one was a little loud, I see there, so let's...
Yeah. Let me use my laser windshield wipers to wipe the spit off my eye lenses.
Having glasses, I would love that.
Yeah, right? What's up, Club Flashpoint, episode 98? I haven't been counting. I just pulled that number out of nowhere.
It's not 98.
Oh, okay.
It's like 40.
Quick math. We're in year 4. Quick
I
math.
can just look. I can just.
I've never do this. I'm
Editor,
sorry.
just cut this part out.
Yeah.
I can do this. This is episode 43.
Pretty close.
Wow.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Wow, very
nice.
close.
Good job.
43.
You know.
The 43rd round of Club Flashpoint. It's like a book club, but for video games. An original idea that we came up with.
No
one's
can't
ever done
say
this before.
No, we can't.
It really is wild how there are no gaming podcasts.
None.
Nobody talks about games.
Yeah,
We're
nobody.
the first pioneers.
Yeah, and to
Yeah,
think of
that's
them like art, to think of them like
Wow.
books.
Well, we do know video games aren't art,
Right.
but we're pretending.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
It's a good facade.
the imagination that comes from us, audience, you're lucky.
My name is Dale Flashpoint. We have a certain Faden Cross.
I am Commando 68,
Excuse me.
the Bacta healer.
Very nice.
I'm the one that gets the Bacta without commands.
6'8". We call them Bacta.
Yeah. Well, they call me back.
Yeah.
We call them back.
We know 68's in charge because they're the only one with an inexplicable British accent or a New Zealand accent.
That's right.
Yes.
Or some sort of accent.
We do have a fifth guest on this episode.
Yay.
Step on up.
Hi, Red Alert. I'm back.
Red Alert, which is a fitting title, character title. We just call them Red Alert.
But, well, we just call him Red.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
been one.
you got to have
him.
brief mono, like
As
one
few
syllable.
syllables as possible. We're in
Right.
combat, Commando.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Uncle,
Uncle's there.
and there's somebody over there. Who are you?
It's Max.
Oh,
Oh, it's the usual cast.
Yeah.
Plus
Yep.
Red.
Go figure.
yeah.
Star Wars Republic Commando, if you haven't picked up. That's the game we played this
It'd be
month.
really fun. I just like to think about someone who just hits play on podcast without reading the title, being like, all right, spinning the die. What am I
What could this
listening
possibly
to?
be about?
They're out there. People could.
People are out there.
I play my podcast episodes on shuffle, so yeah.
No.
Yep. Especially the 3-hour episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I like to do is pause them halfway through and then hit next.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's about what I do with video essays on YouTube.
Yeah. Our audiobooks, just shuffle the chapters all together. Yeah.
I mean, the best way is to play 3 different ones simultaneously while you're doing something else.
Oh, yeah. One on your phone, one on your computer, and
Yeah.
then one through like a speaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not overstimulus. It's comforting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how I go to sleep.
It
every
knocks out
night.
the other noises.
Right.
The intrusive thoughts are quelled, and I feel better.
I got a lot of import nodes. I got to plug in, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's you know what? All those Kaminoan kids, they're just listening to podcasts in their training beds.
They're just sent a lot of podcasts to listen to while they're in the womb, and then they come out with all the ideals of like, yeah, we should go to this war. This is really important.
Right.
Great.
Rojogan, that would be the Star Wars character.
Rojogan is such a Star Wars name.
That's hilarious.
Hell yes.
But besides this month's game, we also play other games.
Yeah.
Dale, what game have you been playing this month that you want to talk about? It's show and tell time.
It's show and tell time. Yeah, I want to talk about a little indie darling called Picayune Dreams. That's a real word, Picayune. It means it has a definition. As
that's
most
good.
words do.
Yep.
This one says petty or worthless.
Also, Petty Dreams.
Petty and worthless dreams.
Nice.
And it is a survivor-like. I got a humble bundle of survivor-likes. I've been playing through them. I really like this one a lot. Does it have a jump button? Nope. Bad game. But it is an interesting survivor-like because it deals with very large percentage increases, where some will give you like a 0.5% increase. Picky and Dreams, when you're picking up a power-up, it's usually like 10, sometimes even 35%. So the
numbers
gains,
are bigger.
The numbers are bigger, and the gains within the run is noticeable. And for a lot of weapons, usually when you pick up another stack, you just get another proc of that weapon. So, for example, there's this one I really like that has these like demon teeth. That if an enemy gets too close, the teeth will come out and like bite it out, and usually kill it in one hit. Awesome power up. The more stacks you have, the more teeth come out and attack enemies. So you just,
I like that.
At first it's one enemy at a time, but you can get like 12 stacks of the thing, and then every time an enemy gets too close, 12 mouths come out. And it's just so satisfying to watch the numbers go up and the damage get bigger. But in the face of that, the enemies are also a little more tough. So I think it's only... I've never finished the final boss. There are 4 bosses and a final boss to complete the story. This is a roguelike style, but it does have a story to it. And it's a very like bleak story. You're a girl who... I get the idea that she's like maybe 16 or 17 years old when she signs her life away to the government to help save the world. Because bad things are happening. The outer space monsters are coming to take over Earth and kill everything.
So
and
when did this come out?
it came out...
Because this is like 1,000 time resist coded.
This came out December 4th, 2023.
Okay.
Published by Two Left Thumb Games, developed by Stepford, Andy Land, and Milky Possum.
Okay. That's
Got some
a great name.
really robust pixel art. You know me, I love pixel art. It leans heavily into the bullet hell aspect of Survivor likes. The bosses have these crazy bullet patterns that
Sans Undertale Wild?
Sans Undertale Wild.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Sans Undertale Wild. You can get good at them in like dodge, but there's also a screen grenade, which I think is awesome. You use
I like those, yeah.
and like it'll suck in the bullets, and this one actually spits the bullets back out and turns them into your attacks, which is really nice. You only get three uses of that though, unless you upgrade. There's a skill tree passively.
Nice.
Roguelite, not roguelike. So more you play the game, you level up, you get more skill points to put in the skill tree. You're more powerful in a run. It's I hinted at the bleak story. It's really bleak. I haven't beaten the final boss, but I think that the whole like crux of it is 17-year-old girl signed up for the government program to help save the world, goes out into space as like this cybernetically altered super soldier, and faces these beasts. And I think there's like a time-space continuum loop aspect because I faced the final boss one time, and she really looked a lot like player character, but aged, and like you're facing a twisted version of yourself who's also trying to accomplish their goal of saving their world, sort of
Gotta
story.
fight evil future me.
Evil
Paradox
future
me.
you, right? Paradox you.
So Infamous.
I think so, but again, I haven't finished the final boss. It was a tough fight.
Classic known game Infamous.
Are the bosses static, so it's like you kill them once and they're gone, or is it like kind of like Hades where you fight one boss on every single run and they're always the same in every run you do?
That one.
Gotcha.
You're always going to face the same boss
Okay,
every run you do.
There's no variety in the bosses too. It's always the same bosses.
Always the same boss, always the same bullet pattern. They have different dialogue lines though, because they're also in the time loop. So they're like commenting on, haha, we're doing this again. You're back. Don't you ever get tired of killing me? Stuff like that. So it's Sans Undertale. Like, the game knows it's being played, sort of thing.
Meta.
Meta, yeah, which is it's kind of fun. I like it.
Is it good meta? Or is it, does the story actually add anything to this experience for you, really?
No.
I mean, it's okay,
No,
yeah.
it's just kind of there. Each time you defeat a boss for the first time, you get a memory unlocked that adds more context to the government program. Like you'll get a memory of one of the other kids that signed up for this thing and like what they're doing, and felt a lot like a show I've never watched, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
felt a lot like a show I've never seen, never saw an out.
Just like the themes of teenagers in government programs and bad vibes, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Let's talk about the best part about the game. The music. Oh my god, it's just got this banging breakbeat soundtrack. Just the most frantic, like Like another game we were just talking about, Bomberman Hero, but more frantic, even more frantic, like breakbeat to the max, which really emphasizes and enhances the feeling of, oh, I'm dodging all these bullets and bad guys, and oh, I'm gonna, and the music is just going right there with you.
That's awesome.
I will say, on a technicality, this game is a twin-stick shooter. There's an upgrade that you get that you do have to aim with the second stick.
Interesting.
I play on a controller, and I like it. It's $5. Go get it. It's a fun little
This is a call to action.
call to action. Go support Milky Possum and Andyland and Stepford, and spend $5 on a cool little indie survival-like twin-stick shooter.
Neat.
And the soundtrack. Go listen to the soundtrack. Even if you don't play the game, you can find the soundtrack on YouTube.
I also played a game.
What?
No way, Max. Really?
What
I
is
did
it?
play a
Monster
game.
Hunter Wilds.
A lot less. And not the game we're
Monster Hunter
talking about.
Tames.
Ooh, yeah.
Lydia Tarr over here.
For my birthday, one of my buddies bought me a game I wasn't going to buy for myself because I didn't think I wanted to get it. I was going to wait and see what it looked like and how it felt because it really put me off as soon as I saw a trailer for it. I played Elden Ring Night Rain. Yeah.
Okay, I'm very curious about this because it does kind of put me off as a concept.
I saw the trailer before I knew it was a co-op, here comes the storm Fortnite, Battle Royale area kind of
What?
thing. Yeah.
So I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so
tell me about it.
Definitely piggybacked off the super success of Elden Ring. That's why it shares the same exact name. It does kind of do its own thing with the lore, so it makes sense, where it's just like, oh, this is a weird in-between place where things are happening. I actually have no idea about the lore yet, because I was going to complete all the character stories and then go watch a YouTube video of someone explain to me what the hell the lore is.
Yeah.
Like
That's a good thing
every
to do with
single
that game.
Souls game.
I like piecing it together for myself and being wrong.
If I had more time to care about like that stuff. I don't know. There's some times where there's like specific characters in the game. I'm like, this is really cool. I'm gonna see if I can go look at all the different, like in the other Souls games, I'm gonna see if I can go look at all the items that look like something pertain to him and read the lore and put it together myself. But reading every single item to figure out the whole story, that's just too much for me. It would see that as something I want to do more than just playing the game itself. But the game itself, it's a 3-player game. They were really not smart in thinking that people might want to play 1, 2, 3 players, because sometimes you only have one other friend you want to play with, and randoms are completely random, and you could be put with anybody for a Soulsborne gameplay difficulty level. And so, granted, it gets better once you beat the first boss, because when you first start the game, you can only fight one boss. The game has 8 endgame bosses you can go to kind of like match for. So each one is its own little matchmaking pool. So everyone who hasn't beaten the first boss yet is queuing for the first boss.
Right.
And so it makes it so you never want to go fight that boss ever again, because you're playing with newer players that don't quite know how to play the game, and you'll get frustrated really quickly and easily.
Or you could be a benevolent hero.
You could do that
Go,
if
you know, lead players to
Carry them through.
Yeah,
to guide
I don't know.
us.
Maybe I'm just too toxic.
Souls-like game?
Yeah, and toxic, and want to have my games run smoothly because I plan. Let me explain the game a bit. It's a boss rush. They took all the it's like the best of bosses from Elden Ring and a little bit of Dark Souls 3 and like
Dark Souls 3, the
Well,
boss
yeah.
rush game.
Yeah, exactly. And Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1. So it takes like the best of characters in some popularity contest. They're not my favorite bosses, but it's okay. They've got cool name drops. Like the big one you'll see is Nameless King from Dark Souls 3, which is notorious for being one of the hardest bosses in Dark Souls 3. I didn't get that same experience because I got lucky and killed him on my first try, so I thought he was one of the easier ones, which is usually what happens in the Dark Souls games. Is everyone has different experiences with different bosses, so the difficulty scales with like I don't know, I fought Taurus Beast for the first 50 times, and I died every time because I didn't know how to play a Dark Souls game.
Yep.
But yeah, the game's a boss rush. You drop in on a circular map. The map's topography stays the same, except for some special events you unlock later on. But what changes is the locales. So there's like kind of like drag and drop areas that will spawn around the map, and different ones will have different loot with different buffs and different bosses.
Are there other players on the map?
There are 2 other players. You're all work with the team, so it's a strictly PvE battle royale.
Okay, so it's not like Fortnite in the sense where it's PvP.
I
or
think
like
they
yeah.
might possibly add that in later. Like you could invade players while they're doing a run. I don't know about that because that'll make the game even more toxic. Which I don't think it is that much, but it's just that ability scale is very large in this game. You can have really bad players and really good players, and that it can feel really, really frustrating for the run back, which is the name that Dark Souls and Soulsborne players call the last bonfire to fight the boss again. How much time it takes to get to that boss to try it again. And every single round is 40 minutes before you get to fight the final boss again. So it's fast-paced. It works because you're building up very quickly in strength. And you could have a really good build this time or a really bad build this time, but you still have to go through 40 minutes of gameplay before you can retry that boss again. Which I haven't really experienced as being a bad thing, but I've cruised through the game pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It only took me 1 or 2 tries on each boss to be able to beat them all, and I enjoyed my time the entire time. If you don't feel really confident in your abilities in Soulsborne games, I think it might be a really frustrating game for people because it's like 40 minutes before you can at least see some of the moves that you might not have seen last time and learn how to dodge them over time. So there might be a harder learning curve for a lot of those things. But actually, just this week, they dropped a new boss, which is an enhanced version of one of the other bosses they had, where he just adds a 3rd extra fighting phase where they go even crazier. Because each of these bosses feels like it could be like an end of chapter or like an end of game boss. So like they've got really flashy moves. They've got really cool attacks, and they all have a certain weakness you can exploit if you get lucky and can get that armament with that buff on there, which kind of changes the mechanics of the fight as well. So it makes it a little bit easier. But no, they're all pretty difficult, and it's really enjoyable. And the other weird thing is every other game you've had a custom character you could play as.
Yeah.
There is 8 preset characters you can choose from, which was another weird thing I think put people off a little bit. But the nice thing about that is that they all have a specific thing they like to do. So like there's one that will like to equip daggers, and so they're looking for dagger loot. One with bows, one with hammers, one with lance and shield.
It's like a basic class system.
Yeah, but they all have superpowers that they could use. So there's one that's a giant bird person, and they can summon a tornado, or they can summon, or their final ultimate ability is they jump up in the sky and slam back down.
Hell yeah.
Which can deal some damage, but the main thing is that it fully reses someone that's down.
That's nice.
The game expects you to die, so the revive mechanic is you have like 10 seconds to hit the way you res them is you beat the shit out of them, and it brings them back up. So it's just do a little bit of damage to them and they come back up. It's about 10 seconds. If you don't do that, they die. They lose a level, and the souls they were carrying, they drop on the ground. It's not as bad as it sounds, because if you pick those souls up, it's the amount of souls you dropped plus the amount of souls you need to level up again. So you get all of your souls back if you go and pick them up. But if you die a second time, they're gone, and you're down a level, which can be devastating because the rest of your team could be level 12 or whatever, and you lost a lot of souls before leveling up. You could be level 5 at the boss, which can ruin runs pretty quickly.
Yeah, sounds very frustrating.
Yeah, there's definitely frustrating levels of it, but I think they did a good job of balancing it so it feels kind of fair in other spots. You can get extremely strong, and you can kill a boss within like 20 seconds if you have like a god tier loot drop for all of your items, or you could be in that boss fight for plus 10 more minutes fighting that boss if you got really bad drops and stuff.
Oof.
I've only had like one of those runs, and I had good items, but my team did not have good items, and it showed because we just took forever. But yeah, it's really cool. I think there's 8 total bosses, and they're going to drop an enhanced boss every other week. So it's a live service game, even though they said it wasn't a live service.
Of course.
But that's fine, because it took me about that much
Buzzwords.
time before the game launched to now to be able to beat the other 8 bosses and start farming resources where you can get new skins for your guys, and just new relics of the item that makes it roguelike. It's basically little drops where they got 3 different buffs where it could be you get +5 vigor at the start, or like you get 0.1% more runes on every run, whatever it ends up being.
Right.
Just little tiny buffs you can do. There's also character specific buffs that do, so it's like this buff only works for Duchess. She's a character where she has a dagger and has a high scaling and intellect, where she can do a pretty good job at doing spells and stuff. But her main skill is when you proc it, when you activate the ability, it resets the last 3 seconds of damage you did and applies it again.
Oof.
And not only you, but also your allies. So if you coordinate and do all of your big attacks at once, you can essentially double the damage within those 3 seconds. So
Okay.
super satisfying. There's relics that can extend the amount of time that is, or no, it's you get a damage buff if you kill the enemy with that proc, and it's like plus 20% or something. I don't know. The buffs are pretty substantial and change your character quite a bit.
Big
but those
numbers.
Are specific. Yeah, big number game. It's number
We
go
like
up
'em.
feels good.
We like them.
See, this is my thing though. I keep thinking about.
Mhm.
The joy that comes from a Souls game, an Elden Ring game, is kind of exploring dungeons and be able to do different approaches, and it's the dungeon crawling aspect.
It is a different feels good than that. So you're not going to get that if you're looking for that in this
Yeah.
game. Yep. So
And I think that's like kind of just cutting that out feels very hollow.
it's actually why I didn't like Elden Ring, because I didn't like the dungeon as much as
Yep, the Elden
first
Rings
3
are just
games.
constant regenning the same style of
I
dungeons
never beat
over
that
and
game
over
because
again.
I was like, I have to explore everything and see everything before I move on.
impossible.
I did it for the first 3 areas, and then I got
Yep.
completely burnt out after like 100 hours, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to see anymore. This is not enjoyable for me. And I could do a boss rush and just go fight the boss exclusively, but that's not how I like to play the game, so I'm not going to do that, because I'm also not going to really enjoy that either.
Also, like, as much as it's kind of annoying, they do have like usually a tight control on the lore, so it is weird to see the Nameless King in Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's why it's like it's in between world where like things can break through, and I actually don't know
It
a whole lot
just
about the
feels
lore, but that's why he can show up.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It sounds like multiverse shit.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just-
essentially what they did.
All
which-
media is multiverse shit, all the way down now.
Yeah.
It's
But-
pissing me off and everything.
The game is extremely fun if you have 2 other friends that love Soulsborne games as much
Yeah.
as you do, and they also like fast-paced games where they can optimize their run. It's like, okay, we see the map here. Our optimized route should be this, and this. And like that's the end of night 1. You get 2 nights, and then you fight a mini boss, and then it starts to night 2 again, where the storm goes away. You have like 20 minutes or whatever to do as much content as you can to level up, get items, get boss for the final boss, and you fight one more mini boss, and then you get transported to go fight the final boss right after that.
Okay.
You know, it also kind of feels like a almost theme park sort
It
of
is.
conception where
Yes.
it's all right. I got 40 minutes until my fast pass activates, and I can cut the head of the line to go to the main event.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that's like kind of like,
I think it did a good job of balancing the fun you do getting ready for the boss with the final boss. I like the getting ready part more because if you just do a really efficient run, it's really satisfying to be really high level on night 1 and then just be able to go through and decimate all the bosses with the build that you got for night 2.
I like to enjoy these games. They're like a slow kind of simmer of me just like
Not this.
slowly
This
walking.
one-
I don't like enjoying my games personally.
The plot of this one is run fast and always be sprinting to your next location.
Yeah.
ABS. Always be sprinting.
Always be sprinting.
And that seems really it does seem really counter to the formula of all the other Souls games. though.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is an amazing game though because it has a jump button and it's kind of a double jump button.
No, I like a double jump.
So you get to
Twice as good.
You get a torrent?
You are torrent. The speed of your super sprint is the same speed that torrent can be sprinting.
Wow.
That's
At. You can also just do normal sprint, which drains a lot less stamina. If you're doing super sprint and not in combat, you can sprint forever. So that's how they kind of make it a little bit more fast paced and not feel so ungodly slow moving around.
Do you want to know something?
What's that?
My final complaint about this game. When they trademarked the term Night Rain, I was like, fuck yes, Armor Core 6 DLC. And it still hasn't happened.
That's actually that game's been on my wish list for a while,
it
and I
is
haven't got it yet.
One of their best games. It's amazing.
Do you think they'll add an Armor Core 6 boss into Elden Ring?
That would make me so pissed.
As like a breach of
Fucking
universe,
shit,
whatever.
I can't
multiverse.
beat the Voltaeus drop event.
Oh my god.
I think they've stayed exclusive. Yeah, they stayed exclusive to the Soul series. So
No Sekiro.
No Bloodborne.
No Bloodborne, there's kind of a Sekiro character. His special ability, he pulls out a cursed sword
God
and
damn
can parry attacks just like Sekiro.
Oh, yes.
Or what's his face? And
Junichiro?
Yeah,
yes,
Sekiro.
yes, Mr. Sekiro.
Mr.
Mr. Shadow's Eyes.
Yeah,
Mr. Shadows dies.
Mr. dies
First name-
twice.
Yeah, Mr. dies
Mr.
twice.
dies twice.
First name Sekiro, middle name.
And no Demon Soul
Shadows.
stuff either. I mean, there's bosses that are in Dark Souls 2 that were plays off of Demon Souls characters which are in that game, like Freya, the giant spider. She's in the game for some reason.
No, isn't it Duke Freya's pet
Spider, yeah.
It's not Freya.
No.
It's not the name of the spider.
I just call her Freya because that's the one
Yeah,
name you get on it.
yeah.
But yeah,
It's actually Frankenstein who's the monster.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually his
Frankenstein's-
name's actually Adam. Excuse me. Read the book.
It's true, actually. Yeah, his name is Adam.
oh yeah, that makes
The
sense.
monster.
Yeah.
He names himself Adam, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game was really good, especially if you didn't pay for it because you got it for your birthday.
Love that.
Aw. Oh yeah. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Uncle. What about you?
Well, unfortunately, I have spent way too much time in the material plane, the mundane universe
the
where
mundane.
everything is real. And as we all know, listeners and friends, I'm demon spawn. I'm from hell. So I had to go back. Got sucked back into the warp, the immaterium, and
God
I
damn
had to play another Warhammer 40,000 game.
Of course.
Yeah, the soul spirit was being leached from me, so I had to go back into that sea of souls and plunge with some rogue trading. So I played Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader.
No, so this game is about being a merchant, right? And you just got to trade.
Yep, make as much money as possible.
Yes and no. I mean, so like it is the most mercantile and commerce centered Warhammer game you're probably gonna find.
Very nice.
That does appeal to me specifically.
So this is actually, if I was gonna pitch this game to anybody in our crew, it would be you, Faden. I think if there is, I recently went back and listened to our Mechanicus episode.
Yeah.
Thinking about your various complaints, most legitimate about Warhammer. And I'm listening to that episode. This is the game you need to try.
Okay.
If you want to try,
It's on my wish list.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
waiting for
probably
that to go
snatch it.
through.
I'll probably snatch it for you. I want you to try it.
Okay.
It is huge. So think Baldur's Gate, but Warhammer. That's basically
So
what
big,
this
yeah.
is.
Damn.
It's huge. This is an Owlcat game. Owlcat Games made the Pathfinder video games.
Oh yeah, Kingmaker.
Kingmaker.
I tried Kingmaker.
So
That one's fun.
really, it's expansive, choice-oriented RPG with huge class mechanics, background mechanics, all of which
What are some of the classics? Classics.
Yeah.
Classes.
So your archetypes, as they're called, there is
yes.
warrior, who very melee oriented. There is the operative, who is a debuffer. There's the officer, who is a buffing class.
I love buffing.
Yeah, there is the soldier, which is a shooting class. And there are others that I know I'm forgetting. There are psychers, so psychics,
Okay,
mages.
I would choose the psyker.
You probably would, and I would recommend for you for your first playthrough, you get to choose. Well, for any given playthrough, there are 3 different ideologies you can play your character as, and you can do a variation of these, a mix of them. But it's better to prioritize one over the others.
Right. Stalinism, Trotskyism, Leninism.
Basically, you've got the iconoclast, the dogmatic, and the heretical.
I'm not that far off.
So you're really not at all. You're really not at all. I would recommend for any given player, especially somebody who doesn't know Warhammer very much, try Dogmatic.
Heretical. Oh.
Dogmatic first. Dogmatic is you're following the rules. You're doing what John Warhammer wants you to do.
Yeah.
Jimmy Space.
Yeah, you are Jimmy Space.
Compliant.
Yeah.
Jimmy Space compliant.
Everything is in compliance.
Codex Astartes.
With the Codex Astartes, with the Administratum, you're doing what the artists want you to do.
Is it what Horus Heresy wants you to do?
No.
No, that would
okay.
that would be the heretic route.
Okay, so that's Mr.
Look
Horus'
to your
route.
root words. Yes, the horesical route. But yes, you choose one of these ideologies to play through. You choose your class. After roughly Act 1 is done, you choose your secondary class, and then you level that up. A lot of cross-class play
love
available.
Does
so
it do the D&D thing or the Baldur's Gate thing where you only have a limited number of levels and you have to be paying attention to
Yes.
like what? Okay.
Yep, it is the
So can
it
you
is the
solo
classic
class?
old school RPG system.
Okay.
Where you do need to you're going to get a certain number of perks in this category. You're going to
Yep.
get a certain number of skills in this category.
Very 3E.
This is not a first time to the system user friendly experience kind of game, but like in terms of the Rogue Trader, the system.
Right.
So a little bit of background, if you don't know, Warhammer 40,000 started as a tabletop game, not a giant war game, but as a small-scale D&D style party-oriented
know that.
called Rogue Trader, and it was based on this system, this role-playing game system. It is ludicrously complicated. If you know anything about Warhammer 40K or just Warhammer tabletops in general, it's let's add more detail.
More,
Can
as
we
much as
do
we
more
can.
dice rolls? Can we do more math? We probably should. Is there measuring involved? We should do some measuring. Where are the percentages? Where's the formula?
It's like the Pro
Yeah.
ZD video of like American games and European games. And it's like
Yes.
the European games, you're flipping cards and stuff, and like, oh, I'm getting my cow tokens. And American games, like, all right, that means you roll 20 d6s.
So this is both. This is the worst of
Yes.
both because you need this. So what makes the video game aspect of this magical is that a video game can do so much that is so fucking difficult to do with just paper. So
Nice.
if you were to play this game with this system and all the various possibilities, classes, subclasses, etc. that you can get in this video game, you would need a bookshelf's worth of fucking codexes and books and manuals, and then you'd have to be flipping through them constantly and going back and referencing. In a video game, instead, you get little text boxes and info
pop-ups.
boxes and sub pop-ups.
Nested tooltips.
Nested tooltips. You've got wonderful hyperlinks everywhere, which is especially necessary in a Warhammer game where you've got all kinds of nonsense, seemingly gibberish vocabulary inserted at random. And if you
what's a
don't,
noon sphere?
yeah, what's a new sphere?
I must check the cogitator.
Yeah, what is a cogitator?
I'm rebalancing my Jimmy Spaceys.
What's the difference between Laz and Melta?
What is the difference,
what is the
actually?
difference?
Hold on. Can you tell me the difference between Laz and
Laz
Melta?
weapons are laser weapons.
Okay.
Melta weapons are ray guns, heat rays.
Because they melt
yeah,
you.
Melta.
And they could potentially explode on you
They
if
have-
you're not careful.
Because Warhammer, right?
Yes.
Like you can't pilot through space
Plasma
because you might
weapons
just get...
are extremely dangerous, powerful, and almost always blow up in your face.
Almost all.
Yeah.
I love that. I love going to hell because I want to go to a different planet.
And that is part of the fun of this game as well. Is you have your own ship. You have you get to customize it.
Very
You know,
nice.
upgrade it. You get to
Can
determine.
I paint it?
No. You get
Okay,
to
what?
Okay. So the ship is the size of a city.
Doesn't mean I can't paint a city.
How do you
Have you
customize it?
Sure. You can so you get
What is the ship customization like?
the ship customization. Mostly it's weapons upgrades. So it's your different broadsides on either side of your ship. It's
cannons?
Your prow
Like
weapons,
pirates?
your cannons. It's space combat on a flat two-dimensional plane. So it works kind of like boat combat.
Okay, so it is just
So
pirates.
it's kind of like a pirate ship game. You are a rogue trader, which is technically a privateer, but also kind of a sector-wide super governor. So you are in charge of multiple planetary governors. Any planet you colonize, you are technically in charge of, but you're claiming in the name of the Imperium.
This is all Imperium focused still because this is Warhammer game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are an Imperium character. The rogue traders within the universe are privateers who are, since the founding of the Imperium, have special license to colonize new planets in the name of the Imperium, but they get to have a greater degree of autonomy compared to any other class of citizen in the entire Imperium. So that's where, because it takes it is the most ludicrously dangerous thing in the world to be exploring the galaxy and colonizing this galaxy, traveling the warp to find new places, to chart new warp routes is... You're literally routing charting maps through hell. And so
Hell yeah.
in order to do that, you need more resources, you need more leeway, more options. You also need a hell of a lot more incentive. So that's kind of, and also it's a fucking game, and it's a universe in a game that's built for games.
Yeah.
And to be the introduction to the Warhammer 40,000 universe, which is what Rogue Trader is, it's let's show the player as many aspects of our universe as we can. Let's let them actually interact with aliens without being forced to butcher them instantly, which is what most human factions are supposed to do. And you can play it that way. That's if you play it dogmatic, that is what you will do. You get your chance to take on your alien companion, and you can just fucking shoot her in the head the second you meet her.
See no scum.
There is a psychic human on your crew, which is technically a mutant. You could just fucking shoot her the second you meet her. You don't have
It'd be
to.
such a hypocritical thing. I am also a psychic, but no, you die.
But there are so many possibilities with this game. I think one of my favorite things about it is it's one of those games where every choice you make, I can't stop thinking about all the other choices I could have made, all the possibilities.
Oh, wow,
every choice I make with my character build, I'm thinking, oh man, next time I'm going to build the officer class in a different way. I'll focus more on improving my own weapons attacks against the enemies my allies are hitting instead of just buffing up my allies. Right now, my build is entirely structured around giving my own teammates extra turns and extra attacks. And I have another officer in my crew, so not my main player character, but a crewmate who's also an officer, who also does that. And so when I have both of us in our party, the other four members of my party are the only ones doing any attacks, but they're getting 2 or 3 times as many attacks as they would otherwise. And so really just upgrading them into damage dealers and then using them as human weapons.
Is this like a top-down CRPG style
Top-down
game?
CRPG. It plays almost exactly like Mechanicus.
Does it look like Mechanicus too?
It looks like Mechanicus.
Yeah, it's not like Baldur's Gate hyper-realism.
No, a lot. So much smaller budget on this game. Much smaller budget on this game. And so there's not nearly as much voice acting.
Okay.
There is arguably twice as much writing. This is a book.
Yep.
You can skip most of it if you want to. If you just want to play well, that's not true. You can't skip most of it because I think 9/10 of the time I spent in this game was reading through all the details of my leveling. So most of the time in this game is spent reading through your options and leveling up your entire party over and over and over.
Yeah, the story is not as important as the
that'd be a big
mechanics.
break.
The story is super important and it's super engrossing and really fun. It's not where you most of the time because most of the
mechanics.
most of the reading you have to do is regarding mechanics. Every class has 30 different tokens, 30 different stacking abilities that interact with one another, and this offers +5 that to this, and half of the percentage of this ability stacks onto this ability. And if your teammate has this ability activated, your 5 abilities in this suite of subclass abilities can also add a +2. It's tokens and tokens and tokens, and halfway through this game, in any given combat, every single figure on the field will have 10 different active tokens or stacks of abilities and sub-abilities happening to them. Damage over time, decrease to dodge chance, decrease to cover effectiveness, increase to aim chance, increase to parry likelihood, all of these things. So very complicated game, lots of options, lots of ways to play, hilarious dialogue in many cases, interesting characters, lots of romance, which you will love, Faden.
Oh, I love romance.
You get to fuck all kinds of characters, and some of those moments are really, really funny. Genuinely, one of my companions, I recently just exited the chambers of my rogue trader's bedroom and entered the main deck, and there's like a little dialogue drop that everyone goes silent on the entire command deck. There's hundreds of people on the command deck, and they're all staring at you awkwardly, and you ask your Vox Master, what's happened? And they, the Vox recording was on the entire time, sir.
Nice.
I don't understand. What are you talking about? We heard, sir. You and your partner. We heard everything. Who heard? The entire ship, sir.
Very nice.
Millions of people, by the way. It's like your ship of millions of people all heard you fuck your girlfriend.
I think there's only
It's
one
awesome.
logical solution, and you just airlock yourself.
You could say, I'm so embarrassed, or you could say, what is your assessment? Masterful work, sir. Masterful work, Lord Captain. Absolutely extraordinary. All we could expect of you and more. It's absolutely fantastic.
This game does have the coin flip of, are you an incel or someone who can take the humor? Because either side will enjoy. Because I feel like that's such a damn, sir, we're all gooning to you fucking your girlfriend. Like, there could be the incel angle on
This game plays to every kind of Warhammer player. If you want to be an asshole, monster, disgusting fascist, you can. If you want to make fun of those kinds of people and constantly point out how fucked up everything in the Imperium is and everything humans usually do is and how stupid they all are for doing it, you can be that character too, the Iconoclast.
Right.
And that is something you never get in a Warhammer game, and I love it. So if you want to try Warhammer and you're ready for an extremely complicated RPG system, and maybe you have the wherewithal to look up a few guides, this is the introduction to the Warhammer 40k universe.
Cool.
I cannot recommend it enough. I love it.
See, my thing, I really like, you can see the lineage of the tabletop game having a lot of rules, and really the stories that come out of it is just around the rules instead of the story being the forward momentum.
Yeah.
Easily, like, you see it go to the tabletop, the miniature,
And
things.
after decades and decades of both things existing, both separately and together, separate, novels and stories and audio dramas and video games and TV shows now, and tabletops and books, all these things crossing over has created quite a nested mess of things inspiring other things and rules existing for strange reasons, and it's a lot to get into, but it's a lot of fun.
That's the beauty in the mess.
Yeah.
What's the scale of the level up system? That's the only question I really have about it. Like, what is your level, and what level do you think is going to be the last level you get?
Off the top
Is
of
it
my
like
head,
1
I couldn't
through
tell
12,
you.
or is
There are a lot of levels.
Gotcha.
I think.
What level are you?
I think it goes up to like 60 or something.
Okay,
like
so
that.
lots of
So
choices
not
every
all the
20.
time.
Every level you're making only usually 2 choices.
Okay.
I'm going to take this skill, but there are a list of 50 skills to choose from, or I'll get one of these 10 upgrades on one of my stats, and it's a little bit different every level.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Check it out. What did you play?
Me? I was wondering what Red played.
What did Red play?
I went down a nostalgia rabbit hole and decided to play Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. So I grew up watching Digimon and fucking loved it. So my spouse bought me this game years back, and I tried it during a depression period and hated it. So I decided I'd try it again, and it's actually super cute. But you wind up, you're this kid who's been hacked and given the ability to enter. Everyone enters the internet in this world. Like,
Agreed.
Yeah, basically.
What did it look like?
And it's like this idyllic city that everyone just like meets in the cyber world for. But your character gets hacked and now has access to like the Underdata world where Digimon live.
Darknet.
Oh,
And-
did Digimon live in the underworld?
We love the Darknet.
Basically, the digital like underworld here.
The Digi-Immaterium. The
And you're
Digitarium.
given the ability to control these Digimon. They're treated like programs.
Well, they are, aren't they?
Yes.
They are, yeah.
I don't know if you know
But they're
this, Faden.
sentient programs.
Digimon is a portmanteau of the words digital and monster.
Oh,
I don't know
Yeah,
if
but it
you-
doesn't mean they're
mind blown.
programs.
You knew
And
that.
they are the champions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Digimon. That's just funny.
Digimon garlic shotguns.
Yep, that's every time. That's all I heard.
That's freaking wonderful. But you're this kid that has been hacked now that he can enter the digital world, and you go through and you run into I forget the name of this Digimon. It's from the second series, but
Devilmon.
Femon. Agumon. No, he's from this
it's
first
that
one.
it's that dude.
I just like saying his name.
Yeah, it's that guy.
What's
Listeners, just look at the picture.
yeah.
Look up the picture. Digimon Story
It's on the
Cyber
cover.
Sleuth. It's the
Long
bottom
ears.
Digimon.
Oh, Terriermon.
Terriermon. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's not a terrier.
No, it isn't.
It's a
No.
freaking
I
rabbit.
love Terriermon's one of my favorite, and that's also from the 3rd series, by the way, not the 2nd.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was second for some reason.
No.
No, you're
Wrong.
Wrong.
Loser.
Don't know his Digimon.
Doesn't know my Digimon.
Ugh.
Next thing you're gonna say Agumon's from the 5th series.
Yeah, you're gonna say that next. 1,
Agumon
2,
shows up
3.
a bunch.
Pepper breath.
Joseph Joestar over here.
But
Tell us about the game.
so you wind up getting Terriermon, or I can't remember who else you choose from, but I chose Terriermon because I was like, fuck yeah.
I like his Gatling gun.
When he
When he evolves.
digivolves, yeah.
Big gun.
Of course, he gets a
He's a
Gatling
rabbit.
gun.
He's a Terriermon, but he's a rabbit.
Yes.
With a gun.
So
Okay, sorry.
you wind up getting this first starter Digimon, but you can collect other Digimon by running into them in the wild, and you get like a scan percentage of them. And when you've run into them enough, you can produce that Digimon for your team.
Just start printing Digimon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. You do.
Nice.
You just start printing them.
They like it.
They like being printed.
They let you.
To get better ones, though, to digivolve them, so you battle them, raise their stats. They have this weird typing system where Digimon are first either vaccine, data, or virus types.
That's the 3 genders.
Like from the card game.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Mhm. Yep. There was a Digimon trading card game. Yep.
Did it also have elements on top of it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this is exactly from the card game.
Maybe.
Because then you also have like a color element that's like grass, water, fire.
It's been a long time since I looked at my Digimon cards, but I know that the vaccine virus
Vaccine, virus, data type.
data type. But yeah.
So they're
Rock,
like,
paper, scissors, essentially.
yeah, rock,
Yes.
rock, paper, scissors, squared.
Okay.
Because you can also be, so like data types are strong against vaccine types and weak to virus types. So
Vaccines get viruses.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can wind up with this weird thing where like you're a fire type fighting a grass type, but you're weak in your secondary. So you're weak in your primary type, but you're strong in your secondary type.
Yes.
So then you wind up with a 0.75 multiplier instead of a 0.5 multiplier.
Gotcha.
And you
Okay.
battle these Digimon, and you're gathering data, but you're
Is
also
it turn-based or...
yes,
Is it Pokemon?
it's like Final Fantasy 13, where you had the ATB and everyone like
Oh, you like choose abilities for them, or is it turn like is it someone takes a turn, or
Is it
do you have a
race cars?
gauge?
someone
building up?
someone takes a turn, but like your speed determines your positioning
Oh,
on
so
this
like Final
track.
Fantasy 10.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Bravely
Like-
default.
Yeah.
bravely dungeon encounter.
And so like you can alter your speed sometimes and be like, okay, I've moved up in the track, and so now like you're going ahead of the next 3 enemies.
Okay, I was wrong.
Rogue
it
Trader
was-
has a system like that too.
Also,
Okay.
I lied. It's
An
not
initiative
dungeon
system.
encounters.
Yeah, initiative system. That's
It's basically an initiative system.
thank you.
Oh yeah. Salvage.
And so yeah, you're choosing abilities. The abilities also have types, which can impact. But you're trying to figure out what the fuck happened to you.
How'd you get digitized?
How did I get digitized? When you leave the digital world, you get like stuck in a half in between state.
Why can't I create sentient life by printing them?
I mean, what's wrong with
That's
that?
less important.
Oh,
They like it.
Yeah.
They like it,
You
and
have
they
a,
love to battle when they're born.
Yeah. It's really cool.
you have a certain amount of memory that determines like how large of Digimon you can hold. So like right now,
I got RAM.
I digivolved too far, so I no longer can have 3 Digimon because I have Metal Greymon,
Oh, he's too fat.
and he's too fat. He takes
Yeah.
up too much
You need
RAM.
more dedicated to Wham.
So I've gotten 1 dedicated RAM upgrade, and that lets me have Cubimon and Metal Greymon. But I've discovered that they're both vaccine types, which is hard. So I need to diversify my Digimon.
Diversify my portfolio.
Binders of Digimon.
But you wind up
I have a printing press of Digimon.
you wind up working for this detective lady who
Is she hot?
she is hot.
Okay.
She has to be hot.
Importantly.
Right.
She is like smoky sexy. And
Smoky sexy.
She-
That's by a guy who definitely is into women.
I'm envisioning her like with a cigar
Oh.
at her desk.
I thought you were saying like she was smoky sexy, like. But like,
So she does make god awful coffee though. She makes like a mushroom coffee that she makes you drink.
Okay.
But she helps you get a body back and then starts putting you on cases.
Okay, hold on. How does she give you a body?
You go back
print
into
it.
the digital world and find digital junk
Okay.
and assemble it into a body that
Okay.
can now leave.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
junky body.
when a detective gives
you
a
look
body, I'm
normal.
thinking she just pulled it out of the morgue.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically
Why
you
not?
run around farming Digimon is primarily what I do, and then solving digital cases for this detective lady.
Interesting game.
Interspersed with a singular case that's about what happened to you. But I also had to go discover why the air conditioner was on like overdrive and was like freezing people nearly to death.
Oh.
What
And
in
it
the Mega
turned,
Man Battle Network is this?
Yeah, this is very Mega Man Battle Network.
and so I had to go and find that Icedramon or whatever was possessing the air conditioner because
I'm a spooky ice monster.
there was an ancient computer in the hub of this building that he lived in, and just nonsense stuff like that.
I love
But,
it.
Yeah.
Hacking the AC because it was too hot for the guy from Russia. Mega Man Battle Network 4.
Is
So
that's
a plot point from Battle Network 4. Except,
Alright.
except this is the beast like hacking the machine because it's programmed to do that. or
Right,
something.
yeah.
That's in his name.
The Russian guy makes the entire world in a fucking global snowstorm.
It's the whole world, not just the... Oh, yeah.
No, because it's Mega Man Battle Network, so it's
Yeah.
extra.
But yeah, so that's what I've been playing.
I like it. I like it.
Nice.
Is there a Digimon you want to get that you haven't got yet?
War Greymon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting close though, but I need, like I said, more RAM.
You need
RAM.
more RAM because War Greymon's even bigger.
Can you get Skull Greymon?
Yes, you can.
Oh, it's so cool. Skull
So-
Greymon is so cool.
The
course you
Digimon
love Skull
don't
Greymon.
have
Yeah.
to digivolve in their like normal chain.
Okay, yeah.
So like you get options, and so like Metal Greymon, it doesn't show you exactly. It shows you a silhouette. So like you can kind of tell who some of them are.
Who's that? Digimon!
Basically. And so like you can also de-digivolve them. So like if you run into more
Skull Greymon is what happens when you force Greymon to digivolve.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's the evil version.
yeah, he's not.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he's supposed to turn into
Agumon.
Metal Greymon or
Well, Greymon first,
yeah.
and then Metal Greymon,
Scary.
then War Greymon.
Is the one that's just a gun, like holding other guns, is that Digimon in there? In this game? Have you not seen that one?
I don't think I've seen this Digimon.
Yeah, I've never heard of this. That rules though.
Which one?
The gun that's holding a bunch of guns, Digimon. Oh,
Gundramon.
Deputy
Deputymon.
Deputymon.
Excellent.
Oh, Deputymon's so cool.
His evolution's sick.
I was thinking Gundramon.
Gundramon is very
Gundramon.
good.
Look up Gundramon.
Yep.
God.
Amazing.
Just a gun dragon.
Yeah.
Gun Dragon.
Digimon's just Pokemon for cool kids.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
true.
so true.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh,
What have you been playing, Faden?
Yeah, games.
What you play?
so I've also been playing this with Red and my boyfriend. We have been playing Star Wars Galaxies. I decided to keep in the theme of this month of choosing a Star Wars game, so I doubled up Star Wars, and I'm playing the classic MMO, Star Wars Galaxies, on a fan server, restoration server. It's amazing. I love this game. MMOs used to be good. So what we've been trying to do is, I am a shipwright. I'm making starships. I am going out. I'm mining. I'm getting some metals, some carbonite, some petrochemicals. I'm making Y-wings, I'm making engines, I'm making guns, and then I'm going around and flying in the Y-wing and shooting things. You can have a gunner in the Y-wing too. So it's nice to have someone get your back. And the flying is a little awkward, and I kind of love it because it really feels like you're flying a Y-wing.
As I remember, everything about the game is a little awkward.
It's all a little awkward.
A little crunchy.
Yeah, it's very crunchy.
It's very crunchy.
Yeah.
That's kind of like all those old MMOs where it's like they go hyper specific in some things,
Yep.
and they choose to stay in that funk, and then other things it's like this is kind of like everything else, but
Yeah, just it's not streamlined at all, which I really like.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel frictionless in the way Final Fantasy XIV feels frictionless to me, where I can play every single class. Whereas this game is, no, you're focusing on a class, and you're going to have to unlearn skills to get more skill points to learn new things in other classes. And that also costs money. So you have to find a trainer that's out and about in different places. And that trainer will be able to, you like pay them some money and they'll be like, all right, let's train. Or you find another player who knows the skill and they'll charge you a fee for it. Or in our case, we like to train each other for free. You know, we're not
animals.
We're not animals. We're trying to create.
This sounds like EverQuest.
Maybe.
I've heard they're very similar structurally. It's like Star Wars EverQuest.
Yeah. I played a chunk of EverQuest Project 99, and this sounds a lot like that.
Is that the one Cam was obsessed
That's
with?
the one
Okay.
a person we know named Cam was obsessed with. I played that for like a month with Cam.
Yeah.
It was fun, but it was very crunchy.
One of my partners loves EverQuest. Played it a lot.
I just want to name my biggest complaint with this game, though.
Yeah, go for it.
The crafting abilities cannot be done passively.
No.
Because the game purposefully puts in these little pop-ups to be like, hey.
Oh, you mean mining?
Mining. Yeah, mining.
Yeah, mining. Yeah, so when you're surveying and getting metals out of the ground, there'll be pop-ups that are like, hey, you've noticed a higher concentration. Do you want to go to it or do you want to continue?
so you have to be actively playing the whole time you're doing that.
Right.
That's your gameplay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's my solution. I bring my laptop to work with me that I have passively mining. And so I can occasionally, when I'm processing books at work, just take a glance. Oh, let me click. And so I can mine for 8 hours a day.
Nice.
So just get a job like that.
Just get a job
Yeah,
like
just
that.
do a job where you
That's
can
how
do
you
that.
play
That's
Star
how you
Wars
play Star Wars.
Galaxy.
That's how you play Star Wars. Exactly. Which makes me think, Jesus, imagine not having this ability.
I was
Especially for shipwright, because my boyfriend only has to get, oh, you want to build a droid? That's 100 metal. For me, I want to build a Y-wing. Oh, you want to build a Y-wing? Yeah, 18,000.
Wow.
that's a bit more mining to do.
And every 30 seconds, you dig up more ore when you're mining. And you're digging up, if you find a really good percentage, which is rare, 20 at a time.
That's a lot to have to get.
Yeah, so this game is really built on you cannot play it alone. Because you can't get all the crafting. So you can't buy ships. There's no one you buy ships at.
I think a lot of those old MMOs really focused on like there's going to be a large population. They're all going to fill their niche, and you need to interact with those niches to get the things you want.
Yeah.
I think 3 is actually a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is like the minimum you need. Even 2, it's doable.
Yeah.
You just got to be focused on some things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Red here to be an architect and start building cities for us.
MMOs hurt me on a spiritual level. So I've agreed to play this game out of love. But I do not love this game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my main goal, so Red can have more fun, is I'm going to get a party boat. So this is the thing I've always been excited about. When I was a kid, I always wanted to play this game for this reason. I always wanted to get a Millennium Falcon, you know, a YT 1300 for the mentally ill people. I want to get that, and I want to walk around in it because you can. It's ships like that are that big. These like party on board ships will let you bring entire people over to just be in the ship and hang out, but also to fly it, because when you're the pilot of the Millennium Falcon, you're not shooting the guns.
No.
You're not the gunner. So you have to have someone else be the gunner. And you need a co-pilot a lot of times to do a lot more advanced maneuvers.
Astro navigation.
So I think that's really cool. I just want to do that shit. That just sounds sick. I want more simulation-y Star Wars games.
I was going to say, that seems to be the element that's missing from a lot of MMOs these days. It's not really a simulation anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just getting you content every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
New dungeon.
And even the dungeons aren't even, they're just straight lines these days.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't interacted with it at all, but I played a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV, and they still hold on to a little bit of that simulation, but it's full community built. Like all the interactions they have there, and they have to constantly beg for things to be able to do a lot of things they want to do, just because honestly everyone else is there is for the content, for content drops and all that
Well,
stuff.
and also you can play that game solo.
Oh yeah, very easily.
You don't have to talk to a single damn soul.
You're the warrior of light.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the solo campaign. You get to play for 700 hours for the main story.
Yep. and like, it just makes me go, right. We could have had a Final Fantasy game like this, but who's gonna join me for Final Fantasy 11? I want to play Final Fantasy 11. It's still going. I hear it's great. It has cool dungeons. It has cool class things where you're multi-classing, so you could be like a samurai black mage. You can like play with classes in different ways. You want to be a dancer, you can be a dancer.
In
I
14,
thought we were going to do Phantasy Star Online.
We need to do Phantasy Star Online. You know what? Never mind. I have that installed. We should play that first.
I have it installed
yeah,
too.
we need to. Well, we need to do that. We need to make that. You need to be less busy to do that.
Okay.
I would love to play Phantasy Star Online.
What is Phantasy Star Online?
An MMO.
It's just another MMO.
From the 90s.
But
You won't like it.
Early
but
2000s.
it's different
I
because
don't
it's an
think I'm gonna
action.
like it.
No, it's an action RPG
Not
where you're
interested.
doing missions kind of Monster Hunter style.
I've seen the gameplay a little bit.
If it plays like the Phantasy Star Zero, which I think it's like reminiscent. Phantasy Star Zero is a DS port of a Phantasy Star game.
I don't think it does because
But I
you're
don't
not
know.
using a
Yeah.
stylus.
What? You didn't use a stylus in Phantasy Star.
I love that. I
Zero.
love not using the gimmick for a system. It's
it
so
makes it so much
stupid.
more enjoyable when
No,
you're playing a 3DS.
no. Play the World Ends with You. Great game. Oh, well, yes, 3DS because there's 3D sucks. You're right. I can't argue with that.
Turn it
Oh,
off in
sorry.
settings.
Anyways, Star Wars Galaxies. I'm also a sniper. We kind of all went like long range classes. Just-
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go.
No, Phantasy Star Zero, the DS game I played growing up, expands on the gameplay mechanics of Phantasy Star Online, partly
Okay.
by borrowing some elements from fellow online title Phantasy Star Universe, such as a fully realized story mode for offline play.
Okay. Interesting.
But so yeah,
you know
it
that.
might be similar gameplay, and I might enjoy it.
Yeah.
It might not be go here, talk to this person,
It's
give
not
them
that.
this item.
It isn't that. No.
I hate that. That's every MMO.
Yeah, okay. So the Star Wars Galaxies like main quest is really funny because it's you have to have all the main trilogy characters talk to you. So literally Han Solo's in the first he's one of the first quest givers.
Those
for
games,
the main
those stories always feel really silly to me. It's like, why are you here right now? Shouldn't you be doing something more important?
It's like during before Empire Strikes Back. So it's
Gotcha.
it's just really funny. Like, look, you're in Tatooine. You got to do all these things for me because I can't be there right now.
I got a movie to shoot.
I'm freezing my ass off right now, not thinking about Jabba. It's very silly. I love going to Naboo and mining. You get a lot of weird animal noises. There's some weird animals in that. There's like giant, like pterodactyl-like creatures that roam that planet. Apparently,
Duh.
great game. Everyone should join me. Star Wars Galaxies Wednesdays.
Bingo.
Oh.
Uncle, you look like you're ready to join me on that.
Uncle looks like they're ready to jump off a bridge.
Tired.
Should we get into Star Wars Republic Commandos?
Wars Republic Commandos.
The game that we played this month. Let's talk about it.
Well, what we'd like to do here first, though, is an
yeah.
elevator pitch. And since we have a guest today, it's your turn. You got to pitch this.
30 seconds. It's only
30 seconds. It's only 30 seconds. You can do this. I believe in you.
I hate describing things.
Well, you're gonna.
It's only 30 seconds of
I can
description.
do it.
No, I got it.
Red got this. I believe in him.
All right, are you ready, Red? On your mark, get set, go.
So, Star Wars Republic Commandos is a first-person shooter, tactical shooter with a team of Republic Commandos that you are running through scenarios, starting on Geonosis, and your goal is to. I hate these pitches. Your goal is to defend Republic interests, and you're going from location to location with your lovable crew.
Time. Lovable crew.
I think you nailed it, honestly.
Big hit,
you're going
yeah.
from location to location.
It's a
with
pretty
your
short game.
heavy quotation marks, lovable crew.
Sir, have you heard of Halo? Let's do a Star Wars Halo.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
But what if you could actually control the Marines instead of them just standing there?
Yeah.
They'll still just stand there, but what if you can control
Tell them where they stand.
So yeah, I want to say why I picked this game. I never beat it. And full disclosure, we also just had an audio mishap, so I'm just going right back into it. Never beat it.
Wow, through the veil. You're not even gonna.
Yeah, you know, it's just whatever. Because it's definitely the vibes are different. You'd be like, where did this?
Sure.
There was an energy here, and
I'm
it kinda
hydrated
just-
now.
Yeah, right. Max is hydrated. That's a different Max. So I picked this game because I've always wanted to beat it. I always knew the ending, and I wanted to get there. I always knew that General Grievous was in it, and I wanted to get there.
Kind of.
Look,
You can see him.
Yeah.
you can see him, and he does an attack
You can
against
shoot
the
at
ship.
Yep.
Yeah, you can shoot at him, and nothing happens.
Nothing at all.
You can try to assassinate the droid army leader, and he just looks at you like, "What are you doing?"
I got a good 4 shots on that guy. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Headshots too.
But I was always too scared when we got to the assault ship because it was dark and scary, and I had a hard time with FPS shooters. Halo was scary to me. The only level I could play was the snow level where I got to be in the Scorpion, fire the tank. I think I mentioned it on this podcast before. Vehicles. I could do vehicles, and I thought that game would have vehicles. It didn't. I was happy when I was in turrets because I was a weird kid. You put me in a car or
You
make
got
it
a
a Mario
safety barrier.
game. Yeah. Put me in a car or it better not have any scary violence in it whatsoever, please. Thank you.
Wrist blades.
Wrist blades.
Ooh.
So yeah, we chose this like some point last year. The schedule hasn't changed much, and it's a very prescient video game considering all of the stuff that is going on with America and Iran.
War.
As we played a game that is heavily influenced by the Iraq and Afghanistan wars and the lead-ups to them and the general rabid
Rabid xenophobia and
Yeah.
hyper-nationalism.
Damn
bugs.
Disgusting.
ripped straight from the New York Times headlines. Like,
Yeah.
man, I need to play the game about the manufacturing of consent of the Coruscanti, like populace. What the Republic is doing for the propaganda to try to get the people on board with the war against the separatists, against people who just, hey, like, to most people, it's just people that are like, hey, they don't want to be a part of the Republic anymore, so they're leaving.
That's yeah.
The Sith just
I mean,
hijacked
separatists.
it. And
Separatists, right?
Right, but I mean, obviously not because there's a freaky frog guy in the background zapping people with lightning and going, "This is my war."
Right, right.
So it kind of, Star Wars.
yeah.
So, who has played this game before? Who's heard of it? What's y'all experiences with this? Oh, you got one, Max?
I played this game before. Very similarly, when it gets to the ship and the lights go out, a little scary. I didn't stop playing it though. I think the only game I didn't stop playing when the lights officially went out was Doom 3D.
Doom
is
3.
it 3D?
Doom
Yeah,
3.
Doom 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single time I'd be fine until the lights go out, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is a horror game. I'm 15 years old. I can't play this. This is too scary."
I played this game a lot. I rented it when it first came out, and I beat it in that first rental of like a 5-day rental period.
Wow.
On normal mode. And
wow.
It was really hard to do. It was a lot of pressure. When this game came out, I was steeped in Halo. I was a Halo guy. Me and my friends played Halo 2 on Legendary all the fucking time. And so specifically coming back and playing this game on hard mode really reminded me of once upon a time playing Halo on Legendary, where you need to memorize every position of every enemy in certain scenes. You need to manage your checkpoints really well. You need to be really on top of your ammo. But I played this game a lot growing up. I rented it multiple times after the first time I beat it. I loved it so much. I was a huge Star Wars nerd as a kid, and being also a big Halo guy, this was the game I was waiting for. I remember reading the issue of Game Informer magazine where this game was announced, basically.
Nice.
You get the first behind-the-scenes look at it. It looked so dark and gritty. I had been saying for years, why isn't there a first-person shooter in Star Wars? This is perfect for the Clone Wars in particular. Perfect for that kind of game. I was beyond stoked for this. The tactical elements really appealed to me too. I'd always been a strategy guy, so not that there's a ton of strategy in this game necessarily,
but there's some.
But it looked like there was.
It looked like, especially to a little kid, it looks very tactical. It feels very tactical. And as far as a lot of shooters in the day went, this was one of the most tactical shooters you could play.
Especially on console.
On console, it had the smoothest squad commands system of pretty much any shooter I was aware of on console at the time. Great Xbox original game. And I love that melee weapon, that wrist blade, that having a blade in your
vibro
wrist,
knife,
little vibro knife that you can come out and you can
little Assassin's Creed
bayonet droids with it and get their
Assassin's Creed.
Get their bloody oil smeared all over your visor. So cool.
Bloody oil.
I distinctly remember playing this game mostly with the vibro knife as a kid. Like I just blitzing through it and slicing everything
It's
up.
very strong.
Yeah.
Slice and dice.
It makes it very insulting that it's not the only melee weapon you use. Because like if you use the pistol, you pistol whip them instead.
Right.
And I'm like, you've got this. I swear it's not as strong though.
It isn't. No, it is
Because
weaker.
like that blade, why would you ever use,
Why not?
why not
Yeah.
use the blade?
There's a bayonet on the end of the giant
Trandoshan
Trandoshan machine gun
That's
that you
really
use.
good.
That's fun to use.
Yep. What about you, Red?
Your experience with this game.
Yeah.
Previous.
No experience previous other than like I knew it existed.
Wow.
But I didn't have a whole lot of video games growing up. I had Pokemon and I had some Final Fantasy later on, but I kind of missed this period of gaming. So I came into this game pretty fresh.
Dale?
I didn't own a video game console until I bought my own Wii in 2011.
Whoa. No Game Boy?
But okay, is that a video game console?
Yeah.
I was on
Yes.
handhelds. Let me rephrase. I was on handhelds until I bought my own Wii in 2011.
There we go.
And I remember distinctly seeing the box art for this game
It
in
looks
Family
sick.
Video, and I was like, "What is that? Looks like dark Star Wars. That looks like angry Star Wars."
Just
Star
shy of
Wars.
rated M.
Yeah. So I was always intrigued by it, and I didn't really like conceptualize it as something I would ever play until Faden was like, "Hey, let's do Republic Commando."
we wanted short games this year, and
That's a game. Let's play it.
Yeah.
I beat this game in 2 days.
It took me a little longer than I expected.
Yeah.
Took me a little bit longer than I really expected.
I replayed it on hard, and I underestimated it. And it took me 3 days, but I definitely had to pull out all of the Halo legendary runs, all skulls on stuff, where it's just like, you play the game in the least fun way, where it's hiding behind every corner and taking pot shots at things because you die very quickly.
Sending your guys back to heal every 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's hard mode.
Don't play it on hard, honestly. You play it on
Yes,
normal.
so-
It's not as fun on
Not
hard
easy.
mode.
Max
Yeah,
and Uncle,
yeah.
you played it on hard. Yeah.
We played it on hard. I would, if you love this game like I do, try it on hard. But otherwise, if you just want to try it, play it on normal.
Yeah, otherwise,
Play it on normal.
you're
Play
gonna
it on
tired.
easy.
Play it on easy.
I don't. You are not shooter people though.
I
That's true.
am.
I'm not a shooter
don't know
person.
because
I'm pretty good
I
at
played the
shooters.
shit out of Destiny.
I like FPS
Yeah.
RPGs.
that's interesting
where
to me.
you
that
can take
it's
very
so
slow and paced maneuvers.
so like Dale. I completely understand why you'd want to play this game on easy. Faden, it really surprises me you struggled with this game.
So I struggled my way until the last 2 levels of Kashyyyk when the Geonosians come up and you have to fight them on the while your guys are hacking.
Yeah.
And come back again and it's just Geonosian elites back and back and back. I'm like, no, I'm doing this on easy. Fuck this. I hate them.
Interesting.
You suck.
I would also enjoy playing the game on easy at times, just because now I am a commando. I am badass. I am unstoppable. I can't die to anything.
Yeah.
And you can just run and gun and just have a fun time with it. And maybe I would have enjoyed that more than playing on hard, because I definitely got frustrated a lot of times. But it was still enough for me to want to go back and go and complete it on hard.
Personally, I forgot about the difficulty slider and wish that I had changed it down to easy. I played through on normal until I got to a point on Kashyyyk where I was out of all ammunition and grenades. Even after discovering that there's not just 5 grenades, there's 25 grenades.
Yep.
You have 5 different types of
Cycle
grenades.
different types of grenades.
Didn't
yeah.
realize until like halfway through Kashyyyk. Really pissed about that.
I'm usually against those pop-ups to say, like, here's your new item you got. Here's the description of it. But I think this is where you could have used that
Could have
on
used a little
all
bit
the
of
new
that,
grenades. Maybe I skipped
Yeah.
all the information,
No,
but I,
I
feel like
left
I
them up.
didn't.
They did not tell you about
Didn't
them.
tell you about the
Yeah.
grenade
Yeah.
types.
Yep.
You
Okay,
get a
are
lot
they
of
poison grenades or concussion
They're
grenades?
concussion. They're
How do I think
Sonic
they're poison?
grenades?
They're the green grenades.
The green
They're
grenades.
not poison. They're blow up
right.
on impact grenades.
Okay.
Oh,
That's-
they're not even
that's
concussion. They're just blow up on
They
impact
blow up
grenades.
on impact
Oh,
grenades.
Is it Sonic? Because I always
Or
thought
they're
it was
blow up on
Geonosis.
impact, or blow up on impact with the enemy, or if it lands somewhere, it stays as a mine.
Interesting.
I'm pretty
realize
sure.
that.
I didn't
Pretty
realize that.
sure with the
No,
green
the
ones.
Sonic one is the flash.
Yeah, the flashbangs
Okay,
are
right,
just
yeah.
flashbangs.
Well, they're
There's
called Sonic grenades. I noticed,
Sure.
which is weird.
but they're flashbangs.
Yep.
And they are mostly used to stun yourself on accident.
or
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
Gatling gun lizards.
Or your teammates.
They're essential with the
Just
gat,
everyone.
especially if you're gonna play on hard mode. You really cannot.
Wow, using a
You really
Trandoshan
cannot-
slur. Already.
Yep.
You really cannot beat the
We'll get-
Trandoshan
we'll get into
bosses
slurs on
without
this.
grenades on hard mode.
Yeah.
You have to spam like all your grenades.
Okay,
to kill.
okay.
Their health pool is absolutely massive on hard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I did give up with about an hour left of gameplay, which I did watch on YouTube.
it's like the worst hour of the gameplay too. So it's not really that big a
kinda
deal.
like
They
it.
just start throwing every single boss type enemy at you in the last hour of the game, and I had
remember
no ammunition.
The first
so
time I
said,
played this as
"No,
a kid,
thank
I
you."
was like, there are Geonosians and the Trandoshans on Kashyyyk makes perfect sense in the story.
Right.
Geonosians on Kashyyyk makes absolutely no fucking sense. Geonosians laying eggs on
that's the
Kashyyyk
weird part.
makes no fucking sense. That really felt like to me as a kid, I was like, they really just ran out of stuff. They ran out of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
there-
This
there-
game needs
there
to
should
ship.
be
We
a
need another enemy.
There should be a third enemy type unique on Kashyyyk, like there's a unique enemy type
Yeah.
on the ship. There's a unique, you're fighting Geonosians on Geonosis. You're fighting Trandoshans on the ship. Maybe now I can fight Trandoshans, androids, and
Kinrath.
something something else.
Yeah.
I mean something else, but Geonosians.
God.
That's a weird choice. But I want to talk about that for a minute.
Hold on, stop. Dale just threw out an amazing thing. There should have been a rat ghoul section. This
like
is
the
post
Flood.
KOTOR. Yeah, it'd be like
Oh,
the flood. There should have been a rat ghoul
That
section.
would
Like the
be-
Trandoshans
Oh, yeah.
released the rat ghoul and the
That
Wookiees
would've
are
been-
turning into like
because
rat
this game
ghoul
was
creatures.
billed
Jeez.
That'd be
as,
terrifying
as
with
a
Dark
Star
Knight
Wars
Mode 2.
killer, air
Yeah.
quotes. This was, one of in the era. I mean, not Star Wars killer, Halo,
Halo
killer.
killer.
This was the era where everybody's trying to be the next Halo.
Yeah.
and this was that, and that would have maybe turned it up a notch, but. Another horror element that I want to touch on that I think is going to help us circle back to the political aspect of this game. You murder fucking children in this game. You
do.
Sentient children, babies,
they-
freshly born babies.
That are violent from the start.
Yeah, they come out of the womb
Which,
violent.
which is the most horrible way to portray the specific culture that these people are analogous to.
Yeah.
They're born bad. They're born suicide-running murder machines,
Yup.
and you need to kill them. And when you kill them, you will hear your guys say, "Disgusting, ugh, gross." Yeah, I couldn't. Just when you thought they couldn't get any more disgusting.
Bugs Commando.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It was not as obvious to me as a child that this is
now it's very obvious.
this is war propaganda.
Yeah.
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 The CIA might as
God.
well have made this game.
God. Now I'm
possibly.
just thinking about this is what they give the kids in the Star Wars universe, right?
This is what those little guys are doing on Commando.
Yeah.
They're playing
Plugged
this
into the
game.
machines,
Okay, yeah, like,
Literally, they're playing this. They're playing this game as training for what you do in this game.
yeah. Should we just like kind of talk about that opening because I think it's sick.
I
first
love
of
it.
all.
Oh, the opening's
Love
so
it.
good.
Cool.
It's iconic.
Selected
It's so
from
good.
birth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
30 seconds and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
You're like you just see yourself as a baby.
Yeah.
Like
Floating in an amniotic tank.
And the
you get your
narrator
little baby
describing like
hands.
how important you are, how your genetic
Yes.
code is like
Yeah.
You
slightly
are
better.
special.
You are superior.
You are superior and even amongst the superior breed, you will be super superior and
like,
special.
Kaminoans. Look, see, this is why I'm sometimes just like, I know the game doesn't know, but they accident into
Right up to the line.
They're so close. They're so close. Where it's like these
Literal
are the
eugenicists. Yes.
Nazis.
Yes.
doing this to these clones, and especially how the game ends, where they're also just disposable eugenics.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you watch the Clone Wars TV show,
It gets into this.
There is an arc, where the Kaminoans are very clearly horrible monsters who know that this war isn't doing any good for anyone. It's just for money. It's just for power.
Lining their pocketbook.
They are intentionally perpetuating the war to make more money and gain more power.
That also lines up with, because this is the thing I think is happening is it's hard to escape the Lucasism of Star Wars because it's so built into the way he's built that world.
Yes.
That even them just portraying it, you still get the Lucasism of, well, the Kaminoans, they like what Dexter Jetster says, obviously, everyone's favorite character is, you have to have a deep pocketbook to talk with the Kaminoans because they do this for money.
Yep.
And the Kaminoans are they're just breeding these kids to be at warriors.
Yeah, man.
It's funny. I was always afraid of them growing up because they had super long necks and they looked super creepy, and I was creeped out about them.
Yeah.
And then not till I'm older, I'm like, wait a minute, and you start asking that question. You're like, yeah, they are creepy. They're the bad guys. The only reason you think they're okay or good guys is because they're producing clones, the things you like usually when you're growing up playing the video games and stuff.
But even in Attack of the Clones, it's like Palpatine looking over his new army while the Imperial March plays.
Yeah.
Probably the single most disappointing factor of Star Wars for me, period, is the fact that they do not ever deal with the fact that we are breeding an army of child soldiers to die for people they will never be able to meet, interact with. They will never reap the rewards of the war that they are fighting.
Accelerated puberty,
Yeah,
so that they're kids for shorter, but they then stop and they just age normally as adults.
And it's absolutely disturbing and disgusting. It's one of the most horrifying things done in any Star Wars sci-fi universe. And it's never addressed.
Nope.
It's just never addressed. Such a loss of potential.
There's a few times where they slightly get
Yep,
close
they
to
get
the
close to it,
question.
yeah.
in the the TV shows.
Yes,
in the
yep.
cartoon
Yes.
TV show
For
for children.
kids.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Yeah.
only one where they even come close.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's
And even then, they still kind of little. I mean,
it was like one or two
Bad Batch
episodes
also
max.
Bad Batch really does try to actually go even deeper into that. I
Yeah.
will say, I haven't seen the third season, so I don't know how they end it.
I haven't seen any of it. I'm excited to watch it.
Especially after Republic Commando.
Yes.
This is especially after Republic Commandos, because Scorch shows up actually in that
Hell
show.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm
Scorch
excited.
shows
The
up.
best Commando.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. Scorch says Wookiee life debts for everyone, and that is an insane.
That's
thing
why
to
he's the
say.
best. He says the most insane.
So insensitive.
No one
Very
can beat
crazy.
my hacksaw skills. He is
God,
so of the time.
Yep.
Oh my god.
He also kind of. I don't know. I should have checked if it's the same voice actor, but he also
Cartho
kinda-
Nassi.
Cartho
Is it the
Nassi.
same
It's
guy?
the same
I
guy.
was-
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the one
Amazing.
time this voice actor gets to play a silly guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he gets to play the most boring Canadian men ever.
Yes.
We'll get to that in December.
Yes, we will.
God.
Let's talk about our teammates.
Sure. Yeah. So we
Speaking
got
of Scorch,
the
he's
heart
the
of
first
team,
one you
the
meet.
heart
of the team.
Yeah. as
I
you're-
love that the Kaminoan gives you the one liner this is the heart.
Here are the people you've grown up with your entire life.
Here's-
Reminder,
Yep.
this one likes to kill people.
Yeah.
Here's your
This is
Teenage
the
Mutant
heart of
Ninja
the
Turtle
team.
brothers
This is the
because
ultimate
they all
hunter.
share the colors and they are the Ninja Turtle brothers.
This is the
Yeah.
soldier.
Raphael Sev and Michelangelo Orange and
Holy shit.
not purple, but
Purple's missing. Yeah.
Yeah, purple is this green.
Fixer's
it doesn't
green,
make sense.
and I think
Yeah.
on the cover of the box you get to see that you have some
You're
splashes
orange.
of orange.
Yes,
Yep.
you are
similar
orange.
to Scorch.
Yeah.
yeah, so
But yeah, you first the first mission
it's
you
the
drop,
Blowjob Brothers.
You drop
so we're
separately.
playing as the Blowjob Brothers.
And it's like, all right, you're going to rendezvous with your team, and you meet up with Scorch first. And so one thing about Star Wars that I, as a casual Star Wars fan, know is that the clone army is genetically cloned,
Yep.
which therefore means they all have the same vocal cords.
Yes.
And therefore they are
Love
all
this game.
voiced by Tamura Morrison, who
Yeah.
is the
Well,
voice
now-
of 38.
Now he doesn't. Oh, is he the voice of
He's
38?
the voice of 38.
You are.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, you are Tamura Morrison.
I didn't.
That's definitely
I thought
him.
it was just a good impression. That's,
Nope.
that's
100%.
amazing.
That's for sure on credit Tamura
He
Morrison.
should actually do more voice acting work. Legitimately, I
He's
think
very
he
good.
does really good as 38.
So Tamura Morrison, a man from New Zealand,
Right.
he has a very thick New Zealand accent. It sounds awesome. You meet up with Scorch, he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" I'm a very American accent.
I'm the
Carthel-
goofy guy.
I'm totally into you if you're a girl. Haha.
And so I go, okay, from a game design standpoint, this makes sense. Little goofy from Star Wars lore, but whatever.
Yeah.
Then you meet up with Fixer, the green guy who's like, I'm a little more by the book, and here's my voice
third
that's
unique voice.
a little bit lower. And I'm like, okay, sure, I get it. They're similar to Tamura Morrison, but a little.
Yeah,
and then you
But
meet
both
up with.
distinctly American voices. though.
Yes.
Yes. And then
Then you meet up with the third and final teammate.
Sev. Hey, I'm Sev.
I'm 07. I like killing shit. I've lost track of my kill count and now I'm depressed. You know,
Don't
rule
say that at the
17. You gotta kill them.
That's
You gotta kill them all.
Is that his last line before he dies? I think I lost track of my kills.
I think so.
the last thing you hear before he dies is
right.
run into something.
The last non-panic.
Spoiler
I
alert!
think in the extended
cares?
universe
Sev's
in
a-
the books, he actually lives. I think.
Stupid.
I forgot
Sev
about the
is
books.
pretty edgy
No,
5 me.
I remember what it is. There was 2 follow-up games that were going to be made. One of them was
Yeah.
going to be the Imperial Commandos, kind of
That's
like
true.
adding
Oh,
on
with
to
the
what would have become
clones, or
Imperial.
with the
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
The other one was going to be another sequel-ish of Rebel Commandos, and it was going to be Sev as rejecting
my
everything
God.
and then being part of the Rebel group. Yeah.
That would have been
Missed
Interesting.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Shit.
And
I'm
I
writing
know-
this fan fiction.
I think it'd be
What
cool
the
if
fuck,
it was your
Sev?
main crew and you get to play as the Imperial as from the first game, and then it's just you play as Sev in a single player commando as because you're a rebel. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like
I'm like, oh, it would have been perfect.
just like dual campaigns, and then like the ending, like climax is like,
Oh,
Yeah.
And it'd
man.
be of that era, so it'd be like, all right, who do you choose?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it'd be that era of type of games where we're getting into the choice options, and we'd have 2 different endings, and clearly the like, if you choose Sev, it's the good, well thought out ending. If you choose
Yeah.
the Imperial Commandos, it's really short and bad.
You actually launched nukes on the whole planet.
Yeah.
The end credits will have the Imperial March playing.
Right, as
Yeah.
they destroy like Yavin and the Imperial, like they're all winning, and so like the Death Star actually fires or something.
Unfortunately, I think this game came out like 2 or 3 months after Halo 2 did, so it sold poorly. And also Battlefront 2 came out that same year, I'm pretty
That's
sure,
just
which is a
months
much
after.
more popular game that year because
Yeah.
people had a little bit of Halo 2 fatigue, and they're like, I'll try some Star Wars now.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Commandos got so hidden, among other things too.
It's
but-
also kind of weird.
It's a weird game.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
It doesn't play like Halo. Like the main gun, your main assault rifle is the worst gun in almost any game I've ever played.
The aiming is loose. Every enemy is a bullet sponge. With that particular weapon.
Especially the spider droids when
Yeah.
there's no fun way to go at them.
One thing I liked how the super battle droids in this game is the only game they're scary. It's
yeah.
like, whoa,
They're
this
just-
guy's just a tank.
It's just another foot infantry unit in any other Star Wars game, and the
Right.
super battle droids in this one are dangerous.
They're
Even
hulking.
even if you plink the armor off, they still have
Yep.
a bunch of hits left.
Well,
and they
also
sound scary too.
Yeah. Well, even like when you shoot their armor
like,
off, then
roar
it
at
has
you.
just like a red eye.
Yeah.
In like in circuitry, and it kind of just
Feels like the Terminator
gnarly.
coming at
It
you.
does look gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so another thing that is really weird though, I just gotta say, they edged up all the Star Wars things except for droidicas, really. So like,
Oh yeah, so like all the
yeah.
droids are like
the battle droids are just these blue, gray, like intense looking.
they
things.
look rusted over in patches.
They have
Very
a
sharp
deeper
corners
voice.
and
They
a
don't
lot
say
less
Roger,
rounded.
Roger.
They don't say Roger.
Yeah,
They
Roger.
don't say Roger, Roger.
slightly deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're more
robot
humanoid.
noises.
I did notice.
They're not the
They look
comedic
more
relief that they are in
humanoid.
everything else.
Yes.
And just blood everywhere. You just get blood on your visor, oil stains.
They're the grease.
Yeah.
lizard
It's
blood.
like getting hit with a blooper in
Yeah.
Mario Kart, but actually worse because
Yeah.
you can't see.
Right, and then the whole
That's
holographic
what the laser.
wiper.
Oh, yeah.
Laser windshield
windshield
wipers.
It's
So
so
good.
funny. But like, even the super battle droids, they give them an arm cannon. They don't normally have those. They just have like 2 like wrist guns.
In most of the lore, they have one of their arms can transform into a rocket launcher.
Wrist rockets.
Yeah,
Watch
wrist
those wrist rockets.
no,
Yeah.
wrist rockets are something else though.
I feel like in at least some of the cartoon shows,
There-
you can see their arms
Some of
open
them
up
do
into
just
a
have
cannon.
that arm. Yeah.
There's probably different variants of different.
But it's also
Yeah.
this is
Battle droids.
pre that though. That's the other thing
That's
to keep
true.
in mind.
That's
so
true.
this
This
is
is before the
pre-
show.
This
Yeah.
is before the show.
pre
This
the
is bef-
third movie too, I believe.
Yep.
Right?
Just
Yes,
pre.
Yeah.
and you can tell because a lot of the design elements are still very reminiscent of the second movie.
any Confederate ship.
yes,
Yeah.
Like any of the CSI ships,
even-
they don't make any sense.
even the Republic ships are still the old
Yes.
class, the
Yep.
old
old Venators.
Venator class.
Yep.
Yep,
They don't have the Venator
the
2s.
victories or whatever they
Yeah,
are.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the there's just like a lot of weird touches on this because the super battle droids are just so wild. They're so wild. I like the dispensers that are just unloading.
Oh yeah, and they're like little droid factories that
Right.
just keep producing droids until you blow them up.
And
Yeah.
sometimes when they do die, they don't die, and they're crawling on the ground
Oh,
coming
yeah,
after you
like
because
zombies.
they're just undead tanks that
Super
just go
cool.
forever.
I would like to point out this game does have a jump button.
It does.
Yeah.
I've never used it.
There's no reason to.
You can jump over cover and like sneak behind stuff.
Not kind of.
I never knew there was a jump
Yeah,
button.
there's a
You
jump
don't
button.
need to use it ever.
Yeah.
You don't really need to
There
use
is
it,
not a
no.
single obstacle in the game you have to jump over.
No.
Yeah.
You do have to crouch.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Crouching
You do
required.
I
Jumping not
hate the crouch. I couldn't
crouch
find
is
a way to
pretty bad.
toggle it on.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish I could do a toggle
Pretty bad.
instead of
But
holding
you,
it.
you don't have to do it very often.
Well, unless you're reviving a guy behind cover,
Then
and you don't want to get hit, and you have to hold C and
Yeah.
F.
You didn't remap to control?
Oh, that would have been a smart
Yeah.
idea.
That's
Yeah.
what I did. I did a
Yeah.
lot of remapping action.
Same.
I think I completely remapped the control scheme except for WASD.
That's
like
yeah,
in the
understandable.
mouse. Yeah.
You do have to
should've
do
done that.
a little
I
bit of
should've done that.
maintenance.
I did a lot of
to get
remapping.
this game to run kind of well.
I
The
al-
PC port does
Oh,
not
yeah.
have native resolution of 1080. You have to.
I did
hard-
use the
hard code that in.
fan-made remaster mod for this, which just has textures. They tweak some animations actually.
no!
Yeah, but
Game
I
looks
mean,
great.
Some of the ragdolls are pretty funny
Yeah.
in this game. Yeah.
So yeah, did anyone? I played the entire game with the wild sensitivity issue.
I turned that down manually
Turned it
with
down.
console commands.
Yes, mouse sensitivity is insane,
Insane.
in this game. Yeah.
Yep.
And I seem to remember the sensitivity being insane on the console too.
Oh.
I don't know. I might be making that up, but I feel like that was also the case.
I used it to my advantage. So how I'd kill super battle droids is I'd run really fast around them, and they were always missing me with the melees as
Yeah.
I was stabbing them.
That's one method.
That it is. It's very dizzying.
Yes.
Especially with that mouse sensitivity. So that might have been part of my problem too. For playing the game is I just forgot to do the manual thing like everyone said I should do.
yeah, we did
No,
post.
this is on me.
A
This is
lot.
on me. Look, I did it.
But you did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
The squad mechanics.
Yeah.
We haven't talked a lot about them. Mostly it's
4 commands.
Yep. It's mostly telling your guys follow me. Abandon your positions.
Round up.
Yeah, round up. Go heal right now, or
Yep.
go stand in this specific cover location, which will prompt you to use a specific weapon type.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Instead of the worst weapon in the game.
yeah, early in the game, you can get through some sequences without using any of these prompts, without telling your squad to do absolutely anything. A lot of times when you do get these prompts, there's one position available, and you
Yeah.
can send one of your 3 guys to it. But by the end of the game, you are flooded with choices, and you really do need
Yep.
to pick the right positions, the right weapons. You need to move your guys during different sequences of combat.
They
Like,
become puzzle boxes.
yeah, you might get pushed back. You might need to
Retreat?
reevaluate. You might need to retreat.
Never retreat.
Well, that's why you died.
Go
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, on hard mode, you absolutely need to retreat. Sometimes you have to do it multiple times.
Right.
But I think this game feels tactical. Even if it isn't really super deep, it feels, for a first-person shooter from this era, feels tactical for sure.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I
you feel like a squad commander.
Yeah, more than just ducking in cover and waiting for the reload break to then shoot back.
And I appreciate that each of your guys has a specialty that he prefers to do, but they will all perform all functions.
Right.
They can all use the sniper, they can all use explosives, they can all do hacking.
They really give you shit for trying things that they're good at, huh?
They do.
They do. Yes. Especially if you blow yourself up. They will all say something along the maybe you should leave the explosives at 64, sir, or whatever his name is.
And that's why I have weapon ordnance trading.
Yes.
Or when you're dead and you ask for assistance, they're like, there's still guys around. But okay.
Kind of busy, boss.
Codex dictates that we have to clear the room first, Commander.
Fixer secretly has it out for your job, and it's very clear through the entire game, because anytime you go down, he's the first one to speak up, and he always says, we need to take care of the objective, we'll have to take care of the boss later.
Or we should tell command to send another leader.
Yes, he will say that. Yep.
I love when Fixer goes, quiet on the comms.
Constantly.
Sev and 6-2 are constantly going back and forth.
Chattering.
How many kills did you get? How many kills did you get?
It's
Cut the chatter. Deltas. Back on task, or whatever. Yeah. He's the worst.
He would want to betray the whole squad just to complete the mission for something.
He would.
Totally would.
Yep.
Yeah. He'll fit right in the Empire.
Yeah.
He'd be the new commander.
The three that survived, well, Scorch would probably leave.
Scorch would definitely.
That's
But Scorch wouldn't join the rebellion.
Okay, so now I'm just imagining this. No, I think he would. So,
I don't think he would. He'd be a merc.
No, I'm imagining the Sev and the Sev plot line with the rebellion. I think they meet halfway through the game, and that's
probably
where
defects.
Right, and there's like a battle, and the Scorch defects. Yeah,
I'd see that. I'd see Scorch just following the commander because he's the commander.
Yeah.
That's the only attachment reason he's still there.
But it's Sev was my pod bro.
But then defect to Sev after Sev's like, dude, what are you doing?
You're my pod bro. You're my pod brother.
He says that right at the very end too. We have to go back. That was my pod brother.
Yes.
I don't care if these orders came from Yoda himself.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Actually, they do. That's another moment in the game where they get right up to the line. Like,
feels like they know.
Even Master Yoda himself is making you betray your fucking brother for some.
You're just a thing.
You're just a thing. You are a tool. You are ammunition to be spent.
And they never use Jedi until that point.
No. Yeah.
Not a single Jedi to be seen.
The only Jedi you see is the most beloved Jedi of all time, Master Yoda, and he's telling you, abandon your brother. Game over. Mm-hmm. That is it. It's abandon your brother. Game over.
Cue the new metal.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just is so close. It's so close.
So close.
And it's the Lucasism is really it. At the end of the day, it's just the stuff that you can't get rid of, or else it's just not Star Wars.
He wrote it into the song of the universe. It's there, even if they're not playing the right notes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The Geonosian laser gun, is it supposed to like stab into your skin or something? Why are those little thingies
I remember
there?
reading in the manual that the little fingies tapping on your armor, they're trying to draw blood from you because that's how the Geonosians power that weapon is with the blood of their champions, and that's why they can keep firing it and you can't.
And that's why they blow up even because they're with that energy.
Interesting.
Because they also have bigger butts too that are full of the orange fluid.
Those tippy tappy fingers, because in the game this beam weapon attached to your wrist,
and
there's these little fingers tippy tapping on your armor. They're trying to inject you. They're trying to pierce you so they can suck the blood out of your.
I always thought so. I thought it was like you ripped the hand off and it was still
it's just the Geonosian's hand is stuck inside of it.
I was so creeped out. I never used that weapon as a kid, but now I use it all the time because I'm like, this is actually really strong.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
The first time I picked up that gun, I clicked and nothing happened, and I was like, "What the? Is it out of ammo?" And then I didn't use it, and then I died a couple more times, and then I was like, "Oh, well, click and hold." Oh, Spartan laser. Okay.
You know, thinking about that, you read it in the instruction booklet. Every single copy of this game should come with the instruction booklet.
I did read through the instruction booklet.
Is
When you buy the game on Steam, it includes a digital version of the instruction
that's the thing.
booklet.
It's just like.
So I miss that so much.
I was told
I
that
miss game manuals so much.
Me too. You know what also misses game manuals? Tunic.
Yes, it does.
What? Yes, listen to our episode on Tunic.
Oh man, I was a different person then. I don't know if I stand by literally anything I said about Tunic or anything in that podcast. Oh, I was just, but man, I need to look into the game files more when I download older Steam games because I forget they do have those
Sometimes,
PDFs.
yeah.
And maybe that would have helped me with. Also, I had the grenade issue where I forgot that I could cycle through grenades for a little bit of the game, and then I
I don't
realized
think
I could do
I
it.
ever used grenades when I played this game on console as a kid. I
my
would
God.
just
Really?
forget about that mechanic altogether.
I love grenades.
Yeah.
Grenades are like my favorite thing in shooters.
super useful in this game in particular.
Well,
a
the
lot of tight, narrow
Tactics.
hallways.
There are.
I think a lot of reason for that though is the guns were pretty showy. Like you have a Nerf gun that you put the sniper barrel
We haven't even talked about that.
attachment on, and
Yeah.
now it shoots sniper bullets.
Yeah.
Or
That's a cool element of the game. Your
Yeah,
gun
It's
is
all the DSM
It's
11 or
attachments.
whatever.
it's a Swiss
Yes.
Army knife. You just
Yeah.
put attachments on. Yeah.
The
So you
anti-person or anti-armor rocket grenade
your
launcher.
assault rifle becomes your grenade launcher, or you can modify it into your sniper rifle, or you can pull the pistol out of it when you run out of ammo. The
Yeah.
pistol
Is that where that
recharges.
pistol comes from?
I didn't realize that.
Yep,
I didn't realize that. The pistol is the secret best weapon of the game,
pretty
right?
sure.
not on
If
hard.
you can land a headshot with a fully charged pistol,
Not on
it's
hard.
pretty good. And normal or easy.
It's useless on hard. It is truly useless. You're better off just using your knife.
Because like it's
Wow.
kind of useless against the B2 battle droids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So like if you run out of ammo and you had 2 of those on you,
But against Trandoshans, just popping them in the head a few times with the...
Also,
Pistol?
instead of swapping attachments, swap to the pistol and then swap to the other weapon, and you don't have to go through adding your attachments to the weapon. They're just already on there, and it's much faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so smart. I didn't... Oh, man, I should have done that more.
Yeah.
I love a good animation cancel.
Yep. Mhm. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, that was really fast swapping to the pistol, and then you swap to any other attachment, it's already on, even if you run a different attachment.
What's our
Nice.
opinion on the shotgun?
It's awesome.
The Trandoshan
Trandoshan shotgun?
Oh,
that.
so
I
good.
use that
Awesome.
the most.
I just... It's not good on droids, though.
Nope.
Which I love. I
Right.
do love that about it. It's not... It's very useless against droids, but...
I wonder if
On
the hitboxes are
Trandoshans?
just so much thinner that Trandoshans are fat and
Yes.
squatty. Which
I think that's what
always-
it is.
Oh,
I
I thought it
never-
was an energy type thing. Like beams are good on droids.
I think the spread of shots just misses the droids.
Could be.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Also-
I really like the Trandoshan SMG. That
I-
was my favorite.
I never
I
knew.
felt
really?
like it didn't do much damage.
It's also mostly useless on hard mode.
Yeah.
But it's great when you have no more ammo of
When you
anything
have to
else
swap
left.
to it, and
Yeah,
it's not the
that's-
pistol.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Gatling gun's great.
Yeah. I always thought I never understood that they were Trandoshans because they don't look like it.
No,
No,
they're fucked up little guys.
They're orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like orcs from.
And so
yeah.
I
Lord
was
of the
like,
Rings. They
Lord
got
of the
the
Rings. They-
assets from the game.
Yeah,
when I was playing as a kid, I'm like, I guess I don't know what Trandoshans are because I thought they were skinny guys in the yellow jumpsuit with the lizard faces,
long
and
arms,
super
yeah.
long, lanky lizard guys. But
Yeah.
no,
They're
they're
little-
fat, squanty guys that walk around
The
like this.
orcs with 2 swords.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there's just like this weird coding of very like Middle Eastern kind of themes swords.
Cloth
Yep.
over their face.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they.
The swords are kind of curved. They're
Yep.
yeah. There's
Curved swords. Skyrim.
Yep.
It's there's just like and just Geonosius as a place like as just a like especially
Ugh,
Big
sand planet.
Orange sand planet.
orange desert
Yeah.
canyons.
Sandstone planet.
Importantly for Afghanistan, it's caves.
Yeah.
Mountains and caves
Yeah.
everywhere.
Underground facilities.
Underground facilities full of weapons of mass destruction that's just
Yeah.
beneath the surface. It's
No.
there. Trust us, it's there. We sent a Jedi. He saw them. There's
Right.
weapons there.
No, we
Goes the
sent Delta
balls.
Squad.
Yeah.
and they blew it up for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So you don't even need to see the evidence.
don't
We
even need to
already
see the
got rid of it.
evidence.
Don't
We
worry
already-
about
we
it.
already
We
won.
dropped him in the ocean. You'll never find him.
We're talking about the game, right?
Yeah.
I'm now thinking about that hilarious image of like someone laying down in the ground, like just like they have like a
Saddam
little,
Hussein.
Yeah,
It's
Saddam
Saddam
Hussein.
Hussein.
Yeah, like the here's
Yeah.
it. Saddam Hussein's
General
like
Grievous
dirt
is
hole.
hiding in
Yeah.
this hole. Yeah.
Has like a tube coming out through the ground to get air.
Got
Oh
like,
my
like
God.
little wires sticking out with a scraggly beard.
Yeah. God.
I have a question. How do we feel about the copious amounts of slurs that they came
It's
up with
bad.
for this
Clankers.
You gotta dehumanize your enemy.
Yeah.
game?
Dehumanize.
Bugs,
Again, another way that makes me
Lizards.
feel like
leathers.
they're so close.
Yeah.
Oh right, that one's rough.
Oh,
That one-
yeah.
They call the Trandoshans leathers.
That's
yeah.
Only good lizard is a dead lizard.
I mean, as a kid, didn't care. It was like, yeah, clankers, yeah, this, that. now playing it again, you're like, holy crap, they got a name for everything and multiple names.
The droid thing is like interesting because droids just aren't people in this in any way. There's like barely anything going on with them.
Yeah.
So like Clanker, sure, whatever. But like when we get to the actual like Geonosis, like just calling any Geonosis bug is just like so slimy. And it's like, but this is how they get away with you being able to show their blood. It's because they're
buggies.
alien.
Yep.
They're insects.
Not people.
This
and
is
keep
not
that
M.
T rating.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get their guts literally over your face.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're
not
guts.
red.
They're bug guts.
Yeah. If they
Yeah.
were red, it'd be bad.
Kids squish bugs all the time.
But it's Nickelodeon green goo. So it's fun.
Yeah, the special. I'm surprised they got away with the Trandoshans because that's just like
Yeah.
they're speaking.
They are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that one.
Noise.
Like that one
Yeah.
Trandoshan that's like just like talking shit from behind the barrier as you're placing the bomb. And he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?"
And they're slavers.
they're
Another
all
fun
slavers.
angle.
Yeah.
That's their
They're
race
slavers.
archetype, slavers. Oh, do you know
So they're bad guys.
Wookiees
Yeah.
have the natural predilection to not appreciate friendly fire?
It's unique to them.
It's unique to them.
Is that a statement that's
What?
said?
It's a statement made right before you get going in Kashyyyk.
Yeah, the Oracle says this. Your advisor says this. He's like, oh, and be sure to remember, Wookiees particularly don't like friendly fire.
Which, in the context of the game, up until that point, if you accidentally hit a clone or your
Hey, knock
teammates,
that off.
that's all they'll say. No, knock it off.
They won't fire back.
That not true. You can if you hit your squad with enough consistent damage, they will shoot you. They will kill,
really?
your squad will kill you.
So they don't tolerate it either. So why are they acting like this is again?
Remember, even though they're not humans, they still don't
still don't
like
like
it
being
when you
shot.
shoot them.
And
You
this-
need to be reminded.
And this is why I'm like, well, this game's really fucking prescient. As the New York Times is like, oh yeah, Persians have a strong history where they don't like being attacked. And it's like, yeah, man, I guess, yeah, that's special to Iranian people is they don't like being bombed. I'm like,
Unique. It's unique about
it's
them.
unique.
Yeah, we liked it. What the heck?
Yeah,
They'll let you do
stupid.
it.
Yeah, they like it.
And so this game just is always so close. But they only are saying that because Wookiees get more aggro when you friendly fire them. It's just a mechanic thing more than anything. But
Just like having three distinct voices.
is
a
the
game
Wookiees the
mechanic.
Mujahideen of Kashyyyk?
I mean, yes, because they do eventually turn on the Empire. So,
Fuck yeah! Oh my god!
oh, one note though that
Wookiee radicals in their towers. Trees there are.
what Wookiees make me think of in this game though, something I like is the stylized angle of this game.
Yes.
Like this game, the Geonosians in this game don't look like the Geonosians in any other media. The Trandoshans don't look the Trandoshans in any other part of the media. The droids don't look like droids in any other part of the media. The Wookiees don't look like Wookiees in any other parts of the media. And here's why. Because this game is showing you the perspective of a clone trooper.
Yeah.
Not the perspective of a great big hero, not the perspective of the champion of the universe, or somebody looking at it from the outside, understanding the entire
Or
operatic
a
story
top
of the galaxy.
ball. Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is a clone trooper. Geonosians are big, horrifying, scary, unknowable entities to these things. They are alien and scary.
They're
Wookiees
conditioned for this.
Yes, Wookiees are twice as strong and twice as big, and they're giant bears and they're savage. And
I mean, so I think the actual reason for the Wookiees is they were looking at Revenge of the Sith concept art.
yeah,
And just seeing like Tarful,
Tarful.
who is
Yeah,
the
let's just
Wookiee.
make everybody
I was
Tarful.
just looking up that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Tarful is the Wookiee that you see make the Wookiee cry in Revenge of the Sith before the Wookiees
got
do, I guess.
the big 3-bladed helmet or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
before they leave, they're trenched in position to rush at tanks.
Duh. How else are you going to jump on them to throw a bomb on it?
I hate cinema battle strategy.
Right.
It's
Come on.
really bad.
It's got to
these
look. It's
days.
got to look exciting.
But like,
Yeah.
You know
they're
what I'm
going
realizing?
against tanks. They're like, there's like the spider droids coming. There's the big roly boys coming. And there's the walkers, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna leave our trenches.
How are you going to hit them if you're in the trench?
You can't.
You can't hit them.
They're not in melee range.
Yeah,
I always thought it was really funny that they always use those giant land tanks on the wheels on Kashyyyk. I'm like, why would you have an extremely long vehicle having to go through giant tree sections where there's not a lot of space?
Well, but that's why they're long and not wide.
You see how
Right?
cool they look, though?
They do look really
You guys
cool.
are missing the
look
most
really
important
cool.
fact.
They
The
do
Lego
look
set is
cool.
so
I do
good.
like those droid tanks. I
yeah.
won't lie.
I love them.
There was a Tarful skin in Star Wars Hunters. R.I.P.
Rip. Yeah, rip to the bad Fortnite. Not Fortnite, Overwatch.
Bad Overwatch.
Yeah. Marvel rivals really came and ate their lunch. And
Oh, big time.
Put them out of business, huh?
Marvel Rivals took everyone's lunch and said, "I'm now Overwatch."
I'm full.
Do we have any more?
Yeah, what else is to say about this game?
It's
Do we have a
short.
favorite enemy type?
B1,
Not the scrap droids. Fuck the scrap droids.
I hate the scrap.
They and on hard mode they
one-shot,
wipe
basically.
on hard
bad,
mode they
yeah.
wipe you in 3 seconds.
That lightning attack is
You have
merciless.
literally 3 seconds to find out from where you're being attacked to stop it.
And
Well, you
if
turn
you're-
your tactical
or you're
visor
dead.
on, obviously.
And your checkpoint is right before you walk through like a
Yes.
10-meter tunnel. So you're crouch walking to then try that attempt again and get
Yep.
You
pissed
didn't
off.
quick save?
Did y'all find
I
the
forgot about
lightsaber?
quick save.
I forgot.
There's a
What
lightsaber?
quick save?
Did you guys
Yes.
find the lightsaber?
There's
Wait, what?
Yep. You
There's a
can't use
lightsaber
it,
Easter egg.
but you can find it.
No.
Yeah.
It's an event in a side room on the abandoned ship.
Yep.
And
Oh.
you'll find it, you'll look at it, and 38 goes, "An elegant weapon from a more civilized age, eh? Well, times have changed."
Times have changed.
Holy shit.
So good. Yeah.
That kind of
Really good moment, actually.
rules because that age is ending.
Yeah.
Yep. Times
Again.
have changed.
Does it? Does it? No. I'm doing the fucking Riddler like thumbnail meme. Does he know? Like,
Right up to the line. Yeah.
Oh, I do wish that when you're approaching the abandoned ship, you watch Scorch and you watch Fixer and you watch Sev leap out and they're like, "Woo!" And then you get a loading screen.
Yeah, we don't get to see them descend all the way to the
You
ship.
don't
There
get to
are
leap out
so
and
many
descend.
little moments
Just
where
very little,
just
like-
show me 5 more seconds of first-person
Yeah.
perspective of my guy interacting with the world, and I will be so much more sucked in.
the
That's my big
cutscenes are
thought.
not a thing in this game.
It feels
no
like
cutscenes.
Level
so
transitions,
So much
nothing.
exposition shows up in just loading screens.
Yeah.
It-
Where you're reading
like
the
half
disc.
the
and now
story
we're
is
1
told.
year
Yeah.
later on the ship over here now.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're like
weird.
getting dossiers.
I just want more. I just want more of this.
It
game.
feels like this movie needed to get released then and there, which it shouldn't, because
Yep.
why 3 months after Halo 2? But
Yeah.
it feels like it was like, all right, here's the gameplay. We'll wait until
It's
after
gonna
the
kill
game
Halo.
to add the cutscenes in, and the cutscene team will do that. Cutscene team scrapped completely.
Or they didn't
and-
have one.
Exactly.
You know?
That,
It just.
it just feels
It
like there
feels
could-
like they didn't have one.
And
like there
honestly-
wasn't a story department.
It's kind of fine. Actually don't mind this because we should be making more games like this that are like smaller, cheaper, because games are especially getting really expensive to make. We should have, why do we need extravagant? I'm like playing Clair Obscure. I'm like, why do I need an extravagant, slow-paced cutscene for like everything? I don't need that. I'm fine with actually
I'll
getting
take a
to 1 year
few.
later.
yeah.
Maybe a little more.
Yeah, I don't need
Sure.
I don't need cutscenes every 5 seconds.
But, like, the hit ratio is so high when they do have cutscenes. It's sick seeing all those ships descend
Ooh,
from
getting
the
your
cruisers
briefing on that,
while
and
the
then right at the
Imperial
end, the guy
March
get-
plays.
Yeah.
Because again, it's one of those moments that they know, but it's just cool. The Imperial March is cool. That's all they're doing it for, and it is cool because it's really scary. I want to point out some lines, unless Dale, you looked like you're.
I had one quick thing that we, the three of us, Uncle, Faden, Dale, we were on a Discord call
yes.
a couple of days ago, and I had a revelation. So there's a moment in the just the last moment of the very first mission on Geonosis where they say, you have to get out of here in 5 minutes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You have to get out of here in 5 minutes. And so I'm like, okay, 5 minutes. I'm going to move. I'm going to hustle. I got time. It's cooking. And if I don't catch it, I'm going to die. And so I was like going, and I wasn't really paying attention to the time, and I had to reload and then do that faster. And so, and I'm going, and I get to the final part, and I hear the countdown 3, 2, 1, right as I'm like about to get out. And I go, oh, cool. They did a good job handling the tension there. That was a good scripted, like tension filled moment. And
Yeah.
we were talking about that on Discord, and Faden and Uncle go, no, that's 5 minutes. That's a hard-coded 5 minute limit.
Yeah, I know because I failed it many times. I even got at the countdown. I was like running through the hallway and I literally blew up.
I thought for
I'm
sure
so
I
much
was
more
get-
hyped knowing
I
that
thought
I
for
made
sure
it.
I was gonna miss it because he had said like 0 or 1 or whatever, and I was still like 10 feet away before it. But it must give you a little bit of leeway time because I got it the first try. On hard.
It gives you a little bit more leeway time. But I didn't have enough time with that leeway time.
I couldn't remember if it was a true 5 minute or if it was just like scripted like that.
It might be 5 minutes.
I
3
assumed
seconds.
it was scripted, not remembering last time I played because I did it my first try. I'm like, well, that was a long one, 0 seconds. So I think it's maybe just scripted, but now I feel so much more thankful that I got it on my first try.
When you fail, you go back at the start of that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is way back.
Yeah.
That's a lot of content you're going through. So that was where I was effectively using quick saves. Like,
Yep.
all right, I hit the 2 minute mark. I got 2 minutes
there were
left here.
quick saves.
Quick saves are a lifesaver, and they are natively
on
mapped
hard
to
mode.
F5 like they should be.
Yep. F5
Yeah.
quick save. I have some lines I wrote down. Keep your space pants on. Fixer says that at one point.
Yes.
What the fuck does that mean?
Nice, nice.
Pants that you wear in space. Duh.
Yeah.
Oh, 38 at one point's like, that's an IED, improvised explosive device, to himself. I'm like, what's going on here, guy? Again, very Iraq, very Afghanistan, like IED, like the lingo is out there. Oh yeah, Wookiees hate friendly fire. The time when Scorch is like Wookiee life stats for everyone when you talk about releasing Wookiees from prison, I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's cool and funny to have slaves.
We got to free those slaves so that they can be our slaves.
Look how thankful they are we came in and did all this.
Yeah.
Yep. It's such an interesting, like, this feels like an early 2000s thing where the concept of, like, I mean, I know it's always prevalent, but there was a lot of popular media that just had a lot of likes to be slaves, compulsory slaves things going on. And, wow, rip. Fucking awful.
Misa called Jar Jar Binks. Misa, your humble servant.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I love it when a strange alien species, definitely not coded for like some weird Orientalism, is offering to be my slave forever. It's nice, actually. So, of course, I have to accept. It'd be rude if I did it.
It'd be rude
It would
not
be-
to.
Yeah.
They like it.
Yeah.
Any last notes before we go to questions?
I also just love. I don't remember who says it, but I died frequently in this, and they get snarky after a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Could we do this later, sir? Now's really not a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the little microwave revive back to gun injection thing.
Oh, the AED.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of someone going like, "Clear."
Yes.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Defibrillator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're a clone with heart of stone, synthetic soul, brainwashed and cold. You're just a drone, got no control, forced in a mold, processed and sold. You know I find it frightening how you change just as fast as lightning. You fell from grace, leaving no trace. You've been replaced, your name erased. Hey, it's your self-destruction. You never listen to my instruction. Shame, 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 shame. Shame that everyone's the same. I thought you stood out long, but different from the clones.
All right, questions?
my sister Emma asked, if you had a parrot, what would you train it to say?
That's a great question. We will here at Club Flashpoint take any questions.
Yeah.
We don't really have any other outlet for those sort of questions, so we'll take them here.
What would you train it to say?
Get
Faden?
some back to soldier.
Get some back to soldier.
Yeah, I think just one-liners from different video games. I think that would be the most enjoyable thing to hear.
Your princess
from.
is in another castle.
I would make it learn like the poison harm noises of different games. Ooh. So it sounds like it's constantly taking poison damage.
That sounds horrible.
Your health is low. Do you have any potions or food?
You must construct additional pylons.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing we got to realize, though. Parrots don't say sentences. They say, like,
They say
1 to
phrases.
3 words.
Yeah.
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 So, like, get water.
Yep.
Or
That's a good
a
one.
name. Or, like...
Potions or food?
yeah, potions. Yeah, teach it potions, teach it food.
That's perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, teach him one of those, I think.
I teach it, say, Keyblade.
Backslash.
Backslash.
Autumn asks,
we didn't hear Red's parrot phrases.
Oh, I just thought of like a real one.
Yeah, real one.
People frequently get them to say like "I love you."
Aww.
That's my first thought, too. And I'm
Love
like,
you.
I want to hear that over and over and over and
Love
over and
you,
over again.
love you, love you, as it's banging its beak on like something metal. Love you. Because that's the thing about parrots; they're just
Yeah.
menaces.
That was my first thought,
It
too.
will be like ripping something like apart, like ripping a couch apart and saying, "Love you,
Love you.
love you, love you." I
Biting
would
you.
Flash Zone. I don't know why. It would just be really funny if a parrot had a catchphrase like "Flash Zone, Flash Zone," or something stupid. Ooh, what's an? I'm trying. No, we can continue. We can continue.
Autumn asks, was the world actually better when I was 10 and there were like 30 different Star Wars video games for me to play, or am I blinded by the passage of time?
I mean, I think the world was better when we had a ton of mid Star Wars game instead of these high production AAA
Here's your next EA Star Wars.
mid Star Wars game. Like,
Yeah.
it was better when there was
It was
30
better.
of them
Yeah,
instead of 3.
games were better.
But two
I
things
think
can be
broadly
true.
speaking, games were better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are finding that out.
Yeah.
As we play through
old games.
old games.
Yeah.
But two things can be true. The passage of time is probably
Yes.
blinding you a little.
No, because look, the Masters of Terrakasi was actually good. No, I promise it was cool when you had to put a 30 button input combo to wield your lightsaber. No. Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader can punch people. It's okay, I promise.
They can hit.
They can
At
hit.
this price, they can hit.
I
Less jokey question from Autumn. Let's say it's 2006 and your mid-budget game dev studio has been given the Star Wars license.
Hell yeah.
What type of game would you want to make? How would you try to stand out from the crowd of so many Star Wars games at the time?
God. My first
Autumn, that's a great question.
It's a great fucking question. My thought is I kind of want like animated like Papers, Please, but you're crafting like news headline stories for like the TV announcers of like the Clone Wars.
I always wanted just a Clone Wars RTS.
Like a really like it's a 12 mission campaign and it has like 6 multiplayer maps you can play on.
I always want like you are the Jedi General.
Yeah.
Like you make your own Jedi General or whatever, and then you make your own clone.
Battle for
force.
Middle Earth 2 coded.
Ooh,
Kinda.
I love Battle for Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Where you can make,
Dawn of War
your own
2.
heroes.
I'm
in
hearing
that.
some Dawn of War 2.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's I always thought that would be sick. Like have your own clone force that are your clones.
Too bad we're almost getting something similar to that. The XCOM Clone Wars game coming out.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
didn't know that either.
Zero Squad or something.
play it.
Yeah, the XCOM developers are making this game.
I'll probably
Hell
play
yeah.
it, yeah.
I already played XCOM 2 with all the Star Wars mods on, so I'm ready to play it in real life.
Yeah, it's like to show some screenshot. I guess like you get
Yeah.
clones, Mandalorians.
Since KOTOR 2 came out in 2004 and you asked 2006, I would make KOTOR 3.
Oh,
I just want more
Now,
KOTOR.
what if you have less budget than KOTOR? Like the same amount of budget as KOTOR 2.
One
Mid-budget
planet.
studio.
I guess I'd make
One
it...
really good
I
planet.
guess I'd make it smaller so I could complete the game and say, here it is. Here's KOTOR 3.
Would you make new assets or would you reuse everything as much as possible and stretch those?
I'd probably reuse assets, but
Yeah.
like I'd try. I mean, depends on what my budget is, but so probably constrained. I'd have to reuse as much as possible to make the game as enjoyable as possible.
Yeah.
At least retexture, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would just do
New
the best
robes.
I can.
I would add new robes.
Yeah. I love playing KOTOR 2 with mods, so yes, that's why. It's like that's what I want to do. I want KOTOR 3 just to be more of the same, honestly, just with slight little pinches of new stuff.
Okay, what's the breakout companion character from this hypothetical KOTOR 3? What's the type of guy? What's the archetype companion character? I think you get like a fucked up Sith in this one.
I think
Like someone that's actually fucked up. Like I think you get a Darth Scion type party member.
I think you should have. I think there'd be more direct choice on like which party members do you actually have.
so
Did you go light? Did you go dark?
Less party members,
the
but more variety.
and the few in the middle that will accept both sides.
Yeah.
But I think like definitely hard lines of
Rogue
like
Trader is like that, where
What
you cannot have some companions and all their other companions at the same time.
well, because KOTOR
they'll kill each other.
you can't be a heretic and a dogmatic guy at the same
You
time.
don't
It's
really
complete
use many
opposites.
characters in KOTOR, so what if you only got 4 party members, but it's like between 12 different characters, depending on choices you make?
Yeah, that's what I
good
look
system.
for a lot of those games. More choices to pick the character that fits your party archetype best.
Yeah.
I would make the swoop bike game that is absent from Star Wars KOTOR 1 and 2.
A pod racing
But it
sequel.
would just be like swoop bikes,
Right.
main focus.
Yeah.
You're in a swoop bike crew. You got to get your sponsorship. You
oh,
got to
it's Need
buy
for
new
Speed,
upgrade
but
parts.
new swoop bike.
Yeah.
GTA, but with swoop bikes.
I would play that. I would. That'd be so
See,
much
but
fun.
that's too much of a big budget. You can't make a GTA. Oh, unless it's a really small
completely empty world with no
Yeah.
people.
You just go around and talk to people what are actually just giant signs saying, "Here's this next race."
Okay, that really is Need for Speed Underground. That is just,
Yeah, Need for Speed Underground.
If that's our low budget, I'll take
and
it.
that's the time.
and you can
frame,
go to
too.
different
is.
planets.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
It's like mini Need for Speed Undergrounds where you get like different planets too. What about you, Red?
I am thinking like a slice of life Jedi Academy.
Oh.
Like
Long live
Persona?
the Queen, but
you have to go to classes and build your little Jedi.
See, my brain went to like, what if it was like a visual novel, like Long Live the
That's-
Queen, and you're like choosing different lessons, and you
I
like
do
get different
love
points.
Long Live the Queen.
It made me think of Saber,
Oh, Fate Stay.
Fate Stay. It made
Yeah.
me think of Fate Stay, but with Jedi. And
Yeah, Jedi visual. You could just make this. You know that, right? That's like actually kind of easy to like comparatively
too much
like
work.
programming and
Just-
stuff.
it is
Just
still
write
work.
the story and then ask someone to do illustrations. Pay someone to do illustrations.
I could write a story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you
And
could do
you're
this.
50% of the way there at that point.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe someday.
Stay tuned.
Look out to Red's fan game where you play as a Jedi and you have to date all these random Jedis in secret.
You're basically dating your master when you're.
Oh
in
my
the
god!
classes.
Oh my god! This is okay. Well,
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
date in class, you can
This
go
is
there
a
for
fetish game now.
you're basically dating your master. Activated some people here. I'm like not listening to this. Hilver asks a series of questions, but is basically what is your favorite single entry per question Star Wars blank. So, what is your favorite Star Wars game?
Force Unleashed.
Wait, really? Why?
I played that growing up and I loved it.
Okay, fair. It's your comfort Star Wars
There's a
game.
nostalgia factor to it.
You like it when you can bring down the Death Star? Not Death Star, Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer, yes.
That is cool.
Probably KOTOR 2.
I think it's KOTOR 2 for me.
KOTOR 2.
I'm Kreia posting.
KOTOR
Guild
1
hunting.
because I haven't finished KOTOR 2.
Just mathematically, I've spent so much more time in KOTOR 2 than any other Star Wars game.
me
so
I think it's actually Battlefront 2 2006.
Oh, that's not a bad choice.
yeah,
That's close. That's
Battlefront
really
2
close.
was so many memories playing that game.
Episode 1
Yeah.
Racer's also really close for me.
Pod Racer?
Yeah.
That's a great
Good one.
game.
Good one.
Especially playing that. I played it once in an arcade as a kid
Oh,
with
with
the Anakin
the
pod
freaking-
racer.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that
the
cabinet was
coolest-
so cool.
in the Traverse City Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Narrowing down our childhood area. Okay. Book or comic?
I haven't read any of the books.
Reading spoils good movies.
The Darth Vader comics are good. The various Darth Vader comics.
Yeah,
are
the
good.
Gillian, the
Ooh, that's not
recent
true.
Gillian.
I did read that. That's the one thing I did read off of suggestion. To
I
read it.
really like Ronin, the book.
That is really good.
I haven't read that.
Yeah, Ronin is actually pretty decent. I was legitimately surprised by that because they really take a different view of the Force. They don't even call it light or dark. It's like the black current, the white current, and it's like water metaphors. It's really good.
There was an older comic, Star Wars comic, that shows Palpatine returning as a clone and Luke going to the dark side.
Dark Empire.
Dark Empire. Yes, I as a kid reading that in.
I bet it was sick as a kid.
In the basement of our public library
yeah.
in the
That's-
summertime on a beanbag. That was the coolest,
it.
sickest fucking comic
Yeah.
ever for like a 12-year-old.
That is the vibe.
Yeah.
Going to the
Luke
public
Skywalker
evil.
goes to the dark side.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's really bad if you like go back through it.
I have not
rough.
not touched it since I was probably 13.
Palpatine's
so-
sexy clone.
Yeah, no, he's really young and he's Civ again. Civ.
Sheev.
Palpatine. Sheev. Yeah.
Yeah, our
He's
boy
sexy.
Sheev. He's sexy and hot now. The World
Yeah.
Devastators. What if we got giant garbage truck collectors to like
Yeah.
destroy the planet?
Really ugly, like special walkers with like
Right.
with the bendy
The hover
arms.
walkers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're like floating. You get to destroy them in Rogue Squadron.
Yep.
That's the final mission. It just like skips many years into the future. It's like Palpatine's back and he's destroying the galaxy with his World Devastators. And I'm like,
Still better
What?
than the sequel movies.
then Rise of Skywalker? Yeah.
Still better than
Because
the
you
sequel
don't see
movies.
Palpatine. You just blow up these big things.
Yep.
It's great.
I'd have to say Star Wars Darth Plagueis.
Oh, you read that?
I did.
I didn't know that. Hell yeah.
The Bane books are pretty good.
Bane. Rule of two.
Yeah, the Bane books are pretty good actually.
I
haven't read those in a long time. But.
I read the best book, Wikipedia, many times. so-
Wikipedia.
Actually, I have a different answer now, I realize.
Yeah.
The Revenge of the Sith novelization.
Is that good?
It's very good. It's actually surprisingly good. It really just it hits. It has it. It's a little different than the movie too. There's some really cool things that happen regarding Padme too, like starting to form the Rebel Alliance and shit.
shit.
There's a lot of interiority for Obi-Wan and Anakin, like getting their thoughts, and it's like shit. This is their like. It really builds that bond, and you get really invested in it. It's very good. Character.
Favorite singular character?
Yeah, favorite Star Wars character. This is a hard one.
Probably Kreia.
Glove shit up.
That's what I was
I
going to
was,
say.
damn it, you took mine, Dale. Glup Shido is the best Star Wars character because he's not real.
Probably Revan, just for the enjoyment of all the stuff that's
good.
around Revan.
Revan's good.
I love it when Bastila mind fucks him and like tries to like create his personality to be the most pliable soldier and tool. It's really fucked up. I wish the game understood that. Instead of made it go, isn't she kind of cute for doing that?
She tried to save you, bro.
Yeah, she just really liked you. She thought you were really hot in school.
You had a cool purple lightsaber, dude.
You had a cool purple lightsaber, and girls were into that.
Yeah.
They were breaking attachment vows left and right for that purple lightsaber. Man, do I just say Kreia? I also am thinking Atris.
Atris sucks.
Exactly. No, I man, do you got one, Red?
Well, I said mine was the same as Uncle Kreia.
Oh, Kreia, yeah. I do like Kreia.
Oh,
Bad Rat?
Jolie, yeah, Bad Rat.
Jolie
Yeah,
Bindo.
Bad Rat's clearly the best Star
Bad
Wars.
Rat
Bad Rat's one of my role playing characters. But Jolie Bindo, fucking
Jolie
rules.
Bindo's he
Yeah,
he
is pretty
fucks.
Yeah, he does.
Jolie
fucks.
Bindo fucks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I like how all of our things we're going to like we're not like Luke Skywalker.
KOTOR characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how like
They are the best Star Wars characters.
I don't know. I won't lie. Luke Skywalker kind of just straight up for me though.
Ugh.
The OG just kind of has it. He's a really sensitive boy who's kind of like finding his place in the world, and he has like weird gay angst about him, especially in Return of the Jedi when he's like decked out in black and shit, and he's wearing those huge ass heeled boots.
I
Pretty good.
hate green lightsabers.
Green lightsabers are my favorite lightsabers. Are you a blue head?
Yeah, if I between the three, I have to choose blue.
Yeah.
L337 from Solo: A Star Wars Story was pretty fun, but I'm now just realizing that her name is Leet, and I don't know how I feel about that.
It's bad. All of it's bad.
Leet, like
Yeah.
internet speak.
Yup. And
Leet
also,
speak.
it's entirely played for comedy. Her like droid liberation stuff. Even her death is played for comedy, where she comes apart as Lando's trying to walk away with her.
Meatbag.
Oh,
HK-47,
yeah,
I forgot about him
Yeah.
too.
HK-47, you
Another
know,
KOTOR character.
Yeah.
Bender. I love Bender from Futurama.
Yeah.
It's just HK.
Next question.
Favorite vehicle?
Naboo Starfighter.
Hell yeah.
No, the Naboo capital ship.
Oh,
The chromed out.
the Padmes.
Padmes.
Now, which version though?
They're both good.
There's
They are
3.
both good.
Just give me chrome. Anything chrome.
But I like the wide wing one in Attack of the Clones.
That
That
was
she
good.
arrives
That
in
one's
the
good.
beginning. I really like that big ass V.
The one that blows up.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I like the 2 engine nacelles on the one from Phantom Menace, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so sleek.
I just
It
love
looks like a
being a
50s
nacelle.
sci-fi illustration.
Slave one.
We love a nacelle.
You mean Boba Fett's fire spray?
I don't. I mean the slave
You mean
one.
people's with jobs won.
I mean the slave one.
Wookiee like that forever.
Slave one is a very close second for me. I just
I
love
love the concept of a potato going vertical and horizontal.
Yep.
It's great. And it sounds like a motorcycle.
The one
The slave one is specifically in Attack of the Clones.
Oh, you like
is
the blue?
And the detonators, the
Seismic charges.
the seismic
I love the
charges,
seismic
so cool. And the blasters, so good.
One of my favorite
Best
things
noises on a
about
starship.
yeah. One of my favorite things about that Sonic detonators is going and playing like Rogue Squadron, like on the GameCube, and hitting Z and then spinning a lot and then just dropping all of them, and it makes like a giant like atom-looking explosion.
That's wild.
I'm forgetting a very important one. Luthen's ship from Andor.
Oh, the
season
Fondor.
1.
Fondor
The
is
Fondor is awesome.
I like the Fondor well enough.
Yeah.
It's weird that it has lightsabers on the side still. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm
That's
like going
not
back and
weird.
forth.
That's awesome.
I have to say, probably Jedi Starfighter.
the Aether Sprite specifically,
Sprite.
or the Revenge of the Sith one.
Whichever one has the hyperspace ring.
That's the original.
That's both of them.
well,
And they both do have it.
Yeah,
The ring's optional.
the
actually.
triangle,
the
the
spearhead?
triangle, or the one that looks more like a TIE
Plo Koon
fighter.
one?
The TIE fighter or the triangle.
yeah.
The TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
that
the
one's
one in
cool.
Revenge of the Sith.
I like the Plo Koon one too.
I like the Aether Sprite better.
spearhead. Yeah.
I like that better. I
My-
like the pizza.
I have two. The best. My favorite ship, the Venator. I love the look of the Venators.
Very good.
They look
Iconic.
so good. And then ATTEs. I love those 6-footed walkers.
Yeah.
Or the ATAPs, the 3-footed ones with the giant tank cannon in the middle. Those look so silly.
They're
But
so silly.
I recently got the ATTE Lego set, the newer one that came out.
I like the LAT gunships. I really like the LAT gunships.
Oh, yeah.
Something we kind of really didn't mention. It's really cool being in the LAT gunships and Republic Commando. It's very much like space helicopter.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
like
Space Vietnam.
Yeah.
well, right, Black Hawk Down even is
yeah.
another big inspiration for this.
Yeah.
So many good ship designs, honestly.
How much overlap is there between the 5 different selections? And I think the one we keep coming up again is it's
It's all Star Wars KOTOR.
KOTOR brain, but
Yeah.
also another overlap I'm seeing is we're all very of the prequel age.
Yeah, early 2000s
Yeah.
Star Wars, we were all kids. So
Yeah.
this is what resonates with us. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at the age where the old heads are like, no, the prequels are good, children. You got to understand this. They're good, actually.
I think almost all of our designs from vehicles and stuff were in the Clone Wars that were made, and none of them were in the Old Republic. We didn't use a single Old Republic vehicle. I don't think.
There aren't great vehicles in the Old Republic.
No.
They're too crunchy.
Yeah,
The sidewise hammerhead shark.
to be fair, I do like the Ebon Hawk, but it's hard to fuck up a
It's-
Millennium Falcon. to
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
hard to.
It's generic,
fuck up a
but I like
freighter.
it. Look, I like it when it's rationally in the middle, the cockpit.
Yeah.
Like I would,
way over here.
I would like to fly the Ebon Hawk more than I'd like to fly the Millennium Falcon or
Yeah.
the fucking Outrider, because of course I'm going to mention the YT 2400 for all you mentally ill people out there.
More questions?
That was it.
I think we're finished.
If we want to ask questions, you can find me on Blue Sky, Faden Cross. You ask me there, send them there. Or if you know me in real life or in Discord, send a message. I mean, send anyone. If you know any person, here, send us a message. We'll,
We'll ask your
At Dale
questions.
Flashpoint on Blue Sky.
yeah. Anything anyone else would like to promote, plug, shout out?
Going to war with Iran is a bad idea. We shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, and also
Don't do that.
we shouldn't be doing that just because Americans would lose lives. We shouldn't be doing that because it's an innocent fucking country where we're just going to murder their people just because.
Yeah. But it's
Fucking sucks.
it sucks.
I fucking hate this place.
It's the only thing anyone ever could have predicted, though. It's everything the CIA has been building towards openly, actively, publicly for the
Yep.
last 30 years. So it's if anybody is surprised by what's happening, you have not been paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if this is your awakening, welcome.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open. Don't shut them this time.
You're dead.
Don't go to sleep. Red, thank
Thanks
you
for
so
joining.
much for joining.
Yay.
Thanks.
What are we going to play next month?
Another Scotland game.
Ooh, really?
Shit, it is another Scotland
Still
game.
wakes the deep.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
This is a spooky one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a spooky one. It's going to be a special episode because we're all going to hang out.
We're gonna do it like a movie. It's a shorter game. It's a very shorter game.
Well, DLC just came out,
I did see that.
so I'm going to get
less
the
shorter.
DLC too.
Sure.
Yeah, but we're gonna make a day of it.
Yeah.
We're all gonna play it together because I'm a scared little baby and I'm gonna need to hide.
We're all gonna be crowded around Faden,
Yep.
making them feel comfortable.
I love scary. This year, I spent more time playing scary games to kind of dilute because I really like the story in a lot of scary games, and I like the adrenaline rush now.
I love it when Chris Redfield shoots Ethan's hyper-realistic wife repeatedly in the chest. It's okay, she was
village.
moldy. It's fine.
Yeah, she had some black mold growing.
Amazing.
Well,
See you next
so
month.
Wakes the Deep next month. What if it's bad?
I don't think it is.
We'll talk about it.
but we'll see.
All right. Have a good month. Bye-bye.
Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.